address. Su Chun and Su Yi waited quietly on the side. Girl, my name is Meng Nyang. What color do you like? Just tell me and I'll help you choose the right one. I like light and elegant colors, not too flashy. Okay. Girl, your features are so delicate and beautiful, and you are in your prime. You look good in anything. I will help you pick a few light and elegant skirts. You try them. Meng Nyang smiled and turned around to find a few sets among the many skirts. A light purple chest-length skirt, a blue and white chest-length skirt, and a red and white chest-length skirt. This red and white skirt is not elegant. The proportion of red is higher than white, a very bright color combination. Just like the one Jiangyu chose for her on New Year's Day last year. Girl, I think you will look especially good in this outfit. You are so pretty, with skin as white as cream, red lips, and white teeth. Wearing red can make you look more charming and bright. Suwon actually likes this color combination. Although this outfit doesn't look elegant like what she wants, a picture suddenly flashed through her mind. It looks good. It seems that my taste is not bad. Jiangyu's clear voice seemed to be right beside her ear. Over and over again, gentle and affectionate. Her ears turned red quietly. Then I'll try it. Meng Yang could see that she liked this dress very much. She helped Suwon put on the skirt and pulled her out of the inner room. The style of Jinggua's skirt is very similar to the style of the Tang Dynasty, but it doesn't look as rich as the Tang Dynasty. There are rarely bright red and bright green colors, or large areas of flowers. But Suwon is really suitable for red, as if she was born to be so bright. Su Chun and Su Yi were both amazed by their sister. The last time they were so amazed was on the night of the New Year. Oh my God! It's so beautiful. Meng Nyang is in this business, and she has said a lot of lies with her eyes open. She said it was beautiful whether it was good or not. But this time, she was really convinced by the beauty of this little girl. She is really good-looking and looks good in anything. Suwon looked down and felt that it was not bad, but she could not see the whole picture, so she walked to her two brothers, turned around twice, and asked, "Third brother, fifth brother, do you like it?" Su Chun and Su Yi nodded like pounding garlic. It looks good. Wanwan is really beautiful. The brothers' reactions did not seem to be deceiving, and Suwon was very satisfied. She went back to try on the other two sets, and the effect of wearing them was very good. They were elegant like orchids and bright like light. She could handle them all, and each one was beautiful in its own way. These 3 sets of skirts cost 16 taels of silver. It was not expensive, but it was not cheap either. If you ripped the cloth yourself and asked someone to make it, it would not look so good. The fabric was also okay, not bad. Suwon also chose 2 sets for Su's mother, 2 sets of dresses, 1 light brown and 1 dark blue. She also bought a pair of embroidered shoes for herself and Su's mother. After leaving this ready-made clothing store, 30 taels were gone. Go buy 2 sets, brothers, and pick 2 sets for dad and second brother. I brought money this time just to buy clothes for everyone. After Suwon bought her own clothes, she was thinking about her dad and brothers. Who knew that Su Chin would say, "You'll be boss Su in the future, so you have to dress up decently. We are all rough men. Why do we need to dress so well? Dad has to work in the fields. Do you want him to wear that robe and come back covered in mud? If you really want to buy clothes for us, then go to the county and grab some cloth and ask Mom to sew 2 sets for us. The weather is warm now, so there is no need to stuff cotton, which is very convenient. Yes, Wanwan, we don't need to dress so well, as long as you are happy. Save the money for buying clothes for us, and buy Wanwan some beautiful pearls and rouge." Su Yi also refused, but why did Suwon feel so happy when he refused? "Third and fifth brothers, when I make more money than I can spend, I won't ask you any more questions. I'll just buy it and give it to you. You have to wear it whether you want to or not." Suwon silently set a flag again, causing the third and fifth brothers to laugh again. "Well, we have been waiting for this day." Su Chin carried things in both hands, and he even freed up one hand to touch her head lovingly. Suwon came out directly in a new skirt, beautiful and fairy-like. She wore the purple one and walked along the street. There were many vendors selling accessories on the street. When the moon was full in the west building, She had a sachet and a piece locket in the same color as her dress on her waist. Su Chun and Su Yi also had a small box of pearl flowers and several boxes of lip balms of different colors in their hands. Su Wan said that she bought these to give to her aunt and Ching Ching. Women, buying is not a disease, but it is really terrible when it is a disease. When the moon was full in the west building, the sun was setting. Su Wan stood in front of the magnificent and splendid Yueman West building, looking up at the roof, and could vaguely see a corner of the pavilion on the top. If Jiang Yu hadn't taken her up there, she wouldn't have known that there was a different world up there. The waiter at the door recognized Su Wan at a glance and quickly turned around to go in and tell shopkeeper Luo. Shopkeeper Luo was counting the bills at the counter, and the abacus was clacking. "Shopkeeper, a distinguished guest is coming," the waiter said hurriedly. Upon hearing this, shopkeeper Luo glanced at him lightly. "How expensive can it be? Everyone who comes to our Yueman West building is a distinguished guest. Just receive them well. What are you talking to me about? I'm busy." "No, shopkeeper, it's Miss Su who's coming." "Which Miss Su?" Shopkeeper Luo hadn't reacted until the waiter said, "Who else could it be? The Miss Su that the young master brought." When he heard the young master, shopkeeper Luo stopped using his abacus and his face became serious. "Oh, that's really an honored guest. Come with me to greet her." He walked out of the counter, flapping his sleeves constantly, as if to shake off all the dust on his body. Su Wan just walked to the door and saw shopkeeper Luo and a waiter walking quickly towards him, and they started shouting from a few meters away. "Miss Su is here to visit the Moon Full West building. I'm sorry for not welcoming you from afar. I'm sorry for not welcoming you from afar." The guests around couldn't help but look at Su Wan a few more times when they saw that shopkeeper Luo actually came to greet people in person. Yumanshi Lu is a den of money, and the people who come and go are more or less rich or noble. Shopkeeper Luo, who is in charge, is even more busy. He is a well-known figure in Xiangzhou City. It is unknown what the identity of the person who can make him fawn on him is. Although Su Wan has changed his clothes, he is not extremely rich. In the eyes of Xiangzhou people, except for his outstanding appearance, there is nothing special about him. In fact, Su Wan himself does not quite understand why shopkeeper Luo is so enthusiastic. "Shopkeeper Luo, long time no see, business is booming." Su Wan also greeted him enthusiastically. "Prosperous, prosperous. It is even more prosperous with your arrival. You will stay for a few days this time. I will arrange the best wing room for you. This is what the young master has specially ordered. When the Su family comes to Yumanshi Lu, they must be treated according to the highest standards." "Shopkeeper Luo, don't bother me. I already have a place to stay. I just want to bring my brothers to have a meal and visit my fourth brother. Is he busy now? If he is not free, let's wait until he gets off work." Upon hearing this, shopkeeper Luo immediately signaled the waiter to invite Su Yun and then continued to say to Su Wan, "Miss Su, in fact, when you come to the state capital, you can stay directly in Yueman West Tower. The young master is also one of the owners of our Yueman West Tower. You are a good friend of the young master. The young master also ordered that your family will stay in the hotel for free. Why don't you stay here?" How can Su Wan be so embarrassed? Although she has long known that Yueman West Tower is related to Jiang Yu, she didn't expect that this guy is actually a shareholder. No wonder he is so arrogant. Next time, shopkeeper Luo, please help us arrange a table for dinner." Su Wan has been tossing around for a day and is very hungry. She just wants to eat. "Okay, I'll arrange it right away. Come with me." Shopkeeper Luo took Su Wan and her 3 siblings to a small private room on the first floor. Shopkeeper Luo asked her what she wanted to eat. Su Wan asked her 2 brothers, but they were all casual. She didn't know what to eat, so she said just 2 dishes would be fine. At this time, in the back kitchen of the Full Moon West building, Su Yun was watching the chef cooking and cutting vegetables, and his knife was almost smoking. He has no privileges here. Jiang Yu said that since he came to learn something, he must do the work he should do, so that the shopkeeper doesn't have to treat him differently in the kitchen. Therefore, as a cook in the kitchen, Su Yun was not lazy at all. The waiter in the front hall called him and said that his brother and sister came to see him. When Soo-yun heard that Soo-won was here, he was so happy that he took off his apron, washed his hands, and followed him out. When he arrived at the private room, the dishes had not yet started to be served. Soo-won was talking to his brothers and eating snacks. "Soo-won, you finally came to see me. Before seeing the person, I heard his voice first." Soo-yun pushed open the door, with a smell of oil smoke on his body. It happened that he was thirsty too, so he sat there and started to pour tea and drink 3 cups in a row. Seeing this, Soo-won handed him a handkerchief to wipe his mouth. "Slow down, fourth brother. Are you so thirsty?" Soo-yun drank the tea and sighed comfortably. "You don't know. The business of Yueman Shilo is so popular. The kitchen is busy from morning to night, and it's the first time I know that there are so many ways to cook this radish, and you can also carve it. Have you heard of tofu shreds?" Soo-yun came to Yueman Shilo, which was like a little knife opening his eyes. "You don't know until you learn it. Once you learn it, you will be shocked." It turns out that what he knows is just the fur. There are still many things to learn to be a chef. How much has the fourth brother learned? Soo-won also thinks that the technical work of carving and wensi tofu is very powerful. This unique skill is quite explosive in modern times. Carving is very simple. I have already learned it, but tofu shreds are really difficult. With his talent, it was not difficult to learn to carve radishes. After a few days of learning, he could almost carve out a shape, but it was not delicate enough. It's okay, take your time, learn all these techniques, and then you can keep customers when you open your own restaurant in the future. Soo-won comforted him as always. "I know, I will work hard, Soo-won, and I will definitely learn a shape for you." Thanks to Soo-won, if she hadn't brought him to the state capital, how could he have such an opportunity? In the original book, he made money while learning a little bit here and there. In the end, the restaurant was opened and famous for its good taste, but it was still not delicate enough. Several brothers and sisters talked about Soo-yun's treatment in Yueman West Building, and then they learned that he, a cook, actually lived in a luxurious single room. Yueman West Building has a special employee dormitory. For people from a courtyard live in one room. When Soo-yun came, the other rooms were full, so he lived in one room by himself. Dishes were served one after another, and the table was almost full. Soo-won remembered that she had clearly said that only 2 dishes would be enough, and this was almost like a full banquet. "Young man, there is no need to serve more. If you serve more, we won't be able to finish it." Soo-won stopped the young man who was serving the dishes and said, "Miss Soo, this is the last dish. After you finish your main course, there will be dessert. Please enjoy it." There were 12 dishes on the table which were full. The waiter who served the dishes answered, closed the door, and went out. Looking at the table of dishes, Soo-won silently asked Soo-yun, "Fourth brother, how much silver does this table of dishes cost?" Soo-yun frowned and estimated, about 10 or 20 taels. "Soo-won, you are rich now, are you so generous?" "I said just 2 dishes, who knew they served so many?" "Oh, never mind, brothers. Pick up your chopsticks and eat quickly." Soo-won swallowed his saliva and simply didn't care about it, just treat it as a luxury. To be honest, when the 3rd and 5th brothers heard the price of this table of dishes, they felt like they were eating gold. The dishes were indeed delicious, but 4 people could not eat all the 12 dishes. At the end of the meal, there were still a lot of dishes left. They only ate the dishes and didn't eat much rice. Shopkeeper Luo estimated the time and asked people to come in to clear the plates and bring in a few cups of milk tea. This is the so-called dessert after the meal. Don't say it. The service is really unparalleled, and the food is delicious. No wonder Yueman West Building has such a good business. After eating and drinking, fourth brother has also seen it. Seeing that he is doing so well in Yueman West Building and the guys here get along well with him, Soo-won has nothing to worry about. After finishing the meal, she went to the front desk to pay the bill. Soo-won asked how much silver this meal cost, but shopkeeper Luo refused to take her money. "Miss Soo, you are too polite. Just treat this place as your own home. Why do you have to pay for eating? If the young master knew, my job as a shopkeeper would be over. Treat it as your own home." Soo-won thought to herself, she dare not do that. It's too abrupt for her to treat such a big restaurant as her own. That won't work. She still has to pay. If she doesn't pay, won't it be a free meal? Suwon insisted on paying, but shopkeeper Luo couldn't make money from her, so he just said a random number and only charged 3 taels of silver for this meal. He said 3 taels, so Suwon paid 3 taels. The main reason for not having a receipt was that if there was a receipt like in modern times, we could see how much money was spent. After paying the silver, shopkeeper Luo personally sent Suwon to the door. Suyun had to go back to work. It was not time for him to get off work yet. He was reluctant to leave Suwon and the others. Suwon, you have to come to see me often in the future. Suyun was alone in Xiangzhou Prefecture. It was the first time he was so far away from home since he grew up. He was like a child, acting like a spoiled child with Suwon. Okay, I will come to see you every time I come to Xiangzhou for business in the future. Suwon patted his shoulder gently to comfort him. Suyun watched Suwon, Su-chun, and Su-yi walk away, his eyes full of reluctance. As for Suwon, since it was still early, he strolled around the city again and bought cloth for his brothers to make clothes. This time, he did not buy the simplest cotton and linen cloth, but bought slightly better ones with patterns and bought 2 sets for each brother. After returning, he asked Su's mother to sew them for them. Calculating the date, it was time for the second brother to leave, so Suwon bought him 2 white robes, hoping that he would look more decent when he and the genius doctor were studying abroad. The second brother looked really stunning in white. His temperament was very cool and unworldly, and he was good-looking, so he was suitable for wearing such a fairy-like color as white, and it also fit his image as a genius doctor who was good at both medicine and poison in the future. The second brother in the original book also loved white, and his wardrobe was all white. After buying these clothes and fabrics, as well as some miscellaneous decorations, he spent almost 80 taels, but Suwon was very happy shopping. Shopping can cure all bad emotions. Eat, drink, and play. If you are unhappy, you will be happy by shopping and eating. If you are not unhappy, you will be happier. Early the next morning, Suwon took the 400 bars of soap in the carriage and his 2 brothers and went straight to a cosmetic shop. Last night, Suwon had already investigated. The flow of people in this cosmetic shop is not bad. If you sell goat milk soap here, it will definitely be very popular. If you want to go for the mid to high-end route in the future, you have to find a higher-end store to act as an agent. This cosmetic shop is called Jade Face Peach Blossom. When Suwon came in, it was early in the morning, and there were no customers. Only the proprietress was counting the bills at the front desk. Seeing a customer coming, a little girl, she subconsciously thought that she was here to do business, but it turned out that she was here to discuss business with her. Girl, it's so early. What do you want to buy? The proprietress came out to greet her with a smile. She looked less than 20 years old and was a very young proprietress. Suwon saluted her and said with a smile, "Madam, I am here to discuss business with you. I wonder if you are interested?" When she heard that it was about discussing business, the proprietress was a little confused, but she still kept smiling and did not change her attitude just because Suwon was not here to buy anything. Talk about business. This is my cosmetic shop. I wonder what kind of business do you want to discuss with me? The merchants who come to her cosmetic shop are nothing more than flower growers, porcelain makers, and carpenters, because her rouge and lip balm are made of fresh flowers and have to be packed in porcelain and wooden boxes, but as for other things, she doesn't know what business she can discuss. Suwon took a few pieces of goat milk soap prepared in advance from the 5th brother and handed them to the boss lady. "Boss lady, I have something I want to sell to you. It is called goat milk soap. It can be used for daily laundry and hand washing. After washing, it will leave a light milky fragrance. It can also be used for washing the face and bathing. After washing, the skin will become very smooth and tender with a light fragrance, right?" Before Suwon finished speaking, the boss lady had already taken up the conversation. Suwon was a little unresponsive. How could she know what he was going to say? Seeing her expression with some doubt, the proprietress smiled and said, "I know your goat milk soap. I am originally from Qinghe County and married to Xiangzhou Prefecture. At the end of the year, I went back to my parents' home to visit my relatives. My mother brought me a good thing, which is your goat milk soap. After I used it, I found it very useful. As you said, it is good for washing clothes and hands. I heard that you have many other styles, and there are also special ones for washing hair, but the quantity is too small. My mother has always regretted not being able to grab the goods. I didn't expect that I would actually meet the boss of this goat milk soap today, and I didn't expect that it was such a young female boss. The boss lady was really surprised because Suwon looked only 14 or 15 years old, still very young. He came out to talk about business at such a young age. This spirit and courage are very unusual. It turned out that he met a fan of goat milk soap. Suwon's luck is unparalleled. Since the boss lady has used it herself, she must be able to negotiate this agency. Anyone who knows the benefits of goat milk soap can't refuse such a good thing, right? What's more, Suwon is making money with her, so why not? Girl, please follow me to the inner room for tea and talk in detail. Please wait for the two gentlemen in the outer room. I am a woman. Please forgive me for being impolite. The boss lady only invited Suwon in. Due to etiquette, it was inconvenient to be in the same room with men outside, so she did not invite Su Chun and Su Ian. Suwon followed her to the reception room inside, and the boss lady personally boiled water and made tea for her. People in this big city are particular about tea. There is a whole set of procedures for sifting tea, washing tea, and brewing tea. The movements are neither hurried nor slow, dignified and elegant. Boss Su, please have some tea. What are your plans? Please tell me in detail now. Madame Xie offered the teacup to her with both hands. During the tea brewing just now, both parties have learned each other's surnames. The boss's surname is Xie. Let Suwon call her Madame Xie. Madame Xie, I came here today just to sell the goat milk soap in your store for a long time. The white one is sold for 15 cents apiece, and you can get the interest of 3 cents apiece. The red one is sold for 20 cents, and you can get the interest of 4 cents apiece. How about it? She provides the raw materials and makes it herself. Madame Xie doesn't have to do anything. Just borrow her store to sell it, and she can make a profit. She shouldn't refuse. Hearing this, Madame Xie calculated in her mind and felt that this business could be done. Of course, you can sell it here, but I don't know how much goods you brought this time, Boss Su. This time I only brought 400 soaps, all of which are basic models, mainly to open up sales in Xiangzhou Prefecture. I still have many new and popular models here, such as hair bath soap, which is also in short supply in Qinghe County. This batch is just a trial. There will be goat milk soaps with various floral scents in the future. There is no problem with washing your face or even bathing. It is very good for the skin and can keep the fragrance for a long time. If it sells well here, we can continue to supply it in the future. The raw materials and production are all completed by us. You just need to help promote it. Suwon explained it to her at one time. Clearly, the pros and cons are all in it, and she can consider it for herself. 400 soaps, 200 of which make 3 coins apiece, and the other 200 make 4 coins apiece, which is 14 taels of silver. How many boxes of rouge does Madame Xie have to sell to get 14 taels? This is a sure-win business, which is equivalent to giving money away for free. How could Madame Xie not be tempted? It is our honor that Boss Su can choose us, Jade Face Peach Blossom. Madame Xie's words represent everything, indicating that she is willing to take over these soaps. It's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you. Suwon held up the teacup with both hands and offered a cup of tea to Madame Xie. Later, she told her in detail that she needed to pay the full amount for the goat milk soap first, but because it was the first cooperation, Suwon took half first, and then took the other half after all were sold out, to show her sincerity and to reassure Madame Xie that she would not lose money. Madame Xie was very satisfied with this way of transaction, so she looked up to Suwon a few more times. This girl, on the other hand, is a person who understands the ways of the world and is sincere enough. It is good to do business with such a person. 400 soaps, all calculated, is 56 taels of silver. Suwon only took half, 28 taels, and the remaining half will be settled when she comes to deliver the goods next time. Suwon still left her an address of her home so that she could come to her for any questions. The goods are delivered once a month, and the styles are not fixed. Madame Xie wrote a document in duplicate. After both sides read it, they signed and sealed it and the cooperation was officially reached. However, Suwon stated in advance that the formula of this goat milk soap belongs to her privately. If she opens her own shop in the future, there will be no conflict of interest between the two parties. She has absolute initiative and can stop the transaction at any time. She doesn't want these agents to talk to her about all sorts of things and get entangled because of their interests when she wants to work alone. Madame Xie certainly has no objection anyway. She makes money easily. The two chatted for a while, and Madame Xie had business coming to her, so she couldn't stay any longer. But before Suwon left, she had to ask Madame Xie about the flower farmers. She was in the powder business, and rouge and powder needed a lot of flowers, so asking her about flower farmers was the best choice. Madame Xie, is there anyone who specializes in growing flowers in Xiangzhou Prefecture? I need to make different scents for my goat milk soap, so I also need a lot of flowers to extract the scent. You are making rouge, and you usually need flowers as raw materials. Can you tell me where there are flower farmers? There is no conflict between her making goat milk soap and Madame Xie making rouge, and Madame Xie will not hide it. Yes, there are several farms outside the city which are farmers who specialize in growing flowers. All the rouge shops in Xiangzhou Prefecture are supplied with flowers by them. There are also some flowers for viewing in the homes of dignitaries, which are also delivered regularly by them. Whatever flowers you want, they have them. Where is it? Can you tell me the address in detail? Suwon was very accurate when she asked, and she was even happier when she heard that the varieties were quite complete. I can't tell you the specific location, but you can rent a carriage at the city gate, tell them that you're going to the flower farm, give them silver, and they will take you there. Madame Xie pointed out the way for Suwon and went out to entertain guests. Suwon asked Su Chen and Su Yi to move all the goat milk soaps into the store, and Madame Xie specially vacated a small counter to display Suwon's goat milk soaps. Gradually, more and more people came to her store, young girls in groups of 3 or 2, or middle-aged women. Madame Xie started to promote goat milk soap on the spot. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a new thing here. I think you will like it. These are all old customers. When Madame Xie said it was a new thing, everyone gathered around out of curiosity. Suwon was on the side, listening to Madame Xie's eloquence, and 3 bars of soap were sold in a few seconds. The main reason is that this soap is very cheap for the common people in Xiangzhou Prefecture. I heard that it is used to wash clothes and hands, so everyone bought it to try. Madame Xie brought out a basin of water on the spot, washed her hands with dyed goat milk soap for them to see, and let them experience it on the spot to see if it feels good. Goat milk soap washes hands clean, and after washing, it is still smooth and tender, without any sense of burden. The most important thing is that there is still a faint milk fragrance on the hands. This is much better than soap beans and bath beans. These women like it and spend money quickly. And Suwon wants this effect. The reason why she chose the rouge shop is that she knows that if she does business with women, the boss must be a person who is eloquent, and she wants to find someone who is eloquent. Madame Xie was very busy. Suwon watched for a while and left contentedly. She was good at judging people and tricking people. When it came to business, she was good at it. Isn't it easy to get people? Please allow her to be a little narcissistic. According to Madame Xie, Suwon took Su Chen and Su Yi to the city gate to find a carriage. Suwon was doing business, and Su Chen and Su Yi followed her, just like 2 little followers, helping to run errands and carry bags. They went wherever she went and protected her silently. The flower farm was about 20 miles outside the city. It cost 2 taels of silver to rent a carriage to go back and forth. The carriage was a very ordinary one. The 3 siblings staggered on the bumpy road to the destination. From a distance, the fragrance of flowers could be smelled. When the curtains were opened, the farm could be clearly seen. The farms together covered an area of hundreds of acres, covering the mountains and fields, and all over the fields were planted with flowers of various varieties. Red, yellow, white, pink. The seasonal flowers in April include peony, magnolia, azalea, lily, and clivia. Suwon planned to load 2 trucks with each different variety, and then distill them into flower dew and mass-produce floral goat milk soap. A large cylinder of pure dew of each scent was directly extracted, so there was no need to worry about not having enough. She found a farmer and discussed with him about ordering flowers. The farmer took her to his farm, and the flowers in the flower field were all blooming well. When the farmer who raised flowers heard that Suwon wanted to transport a large number of flowers back to Chingha County, he told Suwon about the problems he was facing. Suwon learned that if these flowers were to be sent back to Chingha County fresh, they would have to be uprooted. If only the flower buds were needed, given the fragility of the flowers, they would have withered almost before they arrived in Chingha County. However, Xiangzhou Prefecture was too far away from Chingha County, and even if they were uprooted, the freshness of the flowers could not be guaranteed. However, there were no farmers who grew flowers in Chingha County, so they could only come to Xiangzhou to order. This became a problem that troubled Suwon. If she grew flowers herself, it would definitely take more than a short time. When Suwon came out of the flower field, her brows were almost twisted into a rope. Su Chun and Sui followed in together. They heard every word the farmer said just now, and naturally knew what Suwon was worried about. Suwon didn't want to just make ordinary goat milk soap. She wanted to innovate. The most important thing was that the hair soap must use floral pure, due to make the smell better. Floral goat milk soap and hair soap can be sold at a high price. 30 cents a piece is not too expensive. It is a huge profit, and it makes much more money than ordinary goat milk soap. If she wants to go mid to high end, she must make floral soap and hair soap. But the problem now is that the flower field is too far away from Chingha County and can't be supplied. After the flowers wither and rot, it will affect the smell to a great extent, so they must be fresh. Just when Suwon was at a loss, Su-yi gave her an idea. Wan, in my opinion, if you want to do a good job in the goat milk soap business, you might as well move directly to Xiangzhou Prefecture to set up a workshop and hire people to work. There are large flower fields here, which can supply flowers indefinitely. You don't need to bother to travel back and forth between Chingha County and Xiangzhou Prefecture. After the flowers are delivered, you can directly make flower dew, and then make soap to sell. Xiangzhou has outstanding people and beautiful scenery. It has everything and can supply everything. In the future, this business will be established, and Xiangzhou will also be your main business place. Since you'll move out sooner or later, why not come to Xiangzhou now? Sui thought that if Suwon came directly to Xiangzhou to do business, she would not need to run around in many cases, and it would save a lot of trouble. He also didn't want to see Suwon running back and forth like this every day, tossing back and forth, how tiring it was. However, Wan had just bought land to plant flowers and build a workshop. Now she decided to come to Xiangzhou. Wouldn't the land be bought in vain? Su Chun considered the efforts Suwon had made to buy the land before. If he rushed to Xiangzhou, wouldn't he have bought those lands in vain? There is no such thing as a business without mistakes. After buying those lands, he can always grow crops, so he won't lose money. Su-yi saw it clearly. No matter how much land he bought, he would not lose money. He had the land deeds in his hands. Even if he went bankrupt one day, he could still make a fortune by growing crops. After listening to what his fifth brother said, Suwon reflected on it. He did not consider it comprehensively before. He bought the land in a hurry, wanted to grow flowers by himself, and built a workshop. Now that the supply of flowers was stuck, he realized that his previous decision was full of loopholes. If he insisted on setting up a workshop at home, not to mention that the flowers could not be delivered remotely, which was already a big problem, it would be inconvenient for Suwon to go out to talk about something or buy something. In the countryside, it would not be convenient for many suppliers to come to her. In fact, I just took into account that our new house had just been built, and we had to leave after living there for only a few days. My parents were reluctant to let us go, so I thought about opening a workshop in the countryside. It was indeed that I did not consider it comprehensively. In fact, those fields were not difficult to deal with. I could use them to do something else. I was just afraid that my parents would not want to come to Xiangzhou with me. Suwon was a little depressed. She was too confident before, so when she realized that she had made a wrong decision, she felt a little aggrieved. She was still too young, and she did not consider problems and things comprehensively. She had to change her bad habits, otherwise she would suffer a great loss in the future. Seeing her so disappointed, Sui pulled her to sit down on the grass at the edge of the sky, and gently removed a dead leaf that was accidentally stained on her shoulder. Wan, you're going to do great things. Just like you said, those who achieve great things are not particular about trivial matters. How can they look ahead and behind? You have not even tried it, so how do you know that your parents are unwilling to come to Xiangzhou with you? Think about it carefully. If you come to Xiangzhou, how much trouble will you save? Flowers and almond oil can be delivered to you on time if they're close to you, so you don't have to delay things. When you need something, you can buy it in Xiangzhou Prefecture, so you don't have to look for it everywhere. Another thing is that when your goat milk soap business grows in the future, how can the flowers on the 3 acres of land at home be enough to supply it? Not to mention that we don't know how to grow flowers if we don't grow them well, it will also delay things. Unlike Xiangzhou, there is such a large flower field here, and there are flowers for you to use all year round. Isn't it beautiful? Now it's Su-yi's turn to comfort her. Su-yi is such a person. He always has a slight smile on his face on weekdays. He is very gentle, not arrogant or impatient, and doesn't talk much. But he is really careful. He has considered everything that Su-won didn't consider. Before, when Su-won wanted to buy land to plant flowers, he wanted to say it, but he didn't say anything because he was afraid of hurting her self-confidence. Su-yi thought that when she found the problem herself, she would learn from it after suffering a loss, and she would be able to think clearly before doing it next time. Isn't it more guiding than him deliberately reminding her? Now, everything is still in time. You can change your mind. Su-won quickly adjusted his state and thought about what to do next. Go back and discuss with your family first, and don't make plans on your own. Su-won stood up from the edge of the field and patted the dust on his body. Third brother, fifth brother, let's go home and discuss the matter of coming to Xiangzhou with our parents. If we go back now, we have to walk at night, which may not be safe. Otherwise, let's go back early tomorrow morning. Su-chun calculated the time. It was already afternoon when he went back to the inn in Xiangzhou Prefecture to get a carriage. It would be fine to walk on the mountain road when he went home from the city today, but he was afraid of walking at night. The 2 brothers were fine, but it was mainly because they were taking Su-won with them. It was not easy to take risks. What if they encountered wild animals or bad guys? I know, third brother, I'm talking about going back tomorrow morning. Let's go back to Xiangzhou City first. I want to see the house. Even if my parents don't come, I will come. I have to find a place to live first. Su-won thought about it and decided that it didn't matter if her parents didn't come. She still had to run her business. She couldn't abandon her career just because her parents disagreed. Even if she didn't make money for her family, she could make money for herself to have a better future and the confidence to survive in another world. Wan, it's okay. You have your third brother with you. Don't be afraid. If his parents didn't come to Xiangzhou, Su-chin would have come with them. He had nothing to do at home anyway, so he would take on the responsibility of protecting his sister. When doing business outside, he would have to bring aid to protect her. And I will accompany you to Xiangzhou. Su-yi also expressed his opinion with a smile. Xiangzhou has a bigger stage, and he has to find an opportunity for himself. He wants to set up a stall to paint portraits for people and improve himself. There are more opportunities in Xiangzhou. Su-won heard that his 2 brothers unconditionally supported him and accompanied him, so what was there to be afraid of? He was fearless. She held one of her brother's arms with one hand, and she looked so petite in front of her brothers. Unconsciously, the 5th brother, who was not much taller than her when they first met, also quietly grew taller and was more than a head taller than her. And the 3rd brother, she couldn't even reach his shoulders. Thank you, brothers. Su-won, who had a gloomy face just now, was enlightened by her brother, and now she is smiling again. Before leaving, Su-won bought herself a bunch of lilies and some other flowers. The warm colors she matched looked inexplicably beautiful. It was nothing, just to please herself. Lao Wu, you really have to say, the flowers Wan made herself are quite beautiful. In the carriage, Su-chun praised the flowers in Su-won's arms. Su-yi took a look and found them to be really beautiful. Su-won's aesthetic taste is online. This rhododendron is so fragrant, it must be very fragrant if it is used to make soap. Su-won lowered her head and took a deep breath of the fragrance of the lily. Lily is called rhododendron here. She follows the local customs and keeps up with the folk customs so that she will not appear to be different. There are so many plants planted on the farm. You can make as many soaps as you want, but we have to act faster. The farmer just said that this rhododendron will only bloom for less than a month, and there are several other types that will wither after this month. When Sui mentioned this, he had to remind Suwon. Sure enough, when Suwon heard it, he sat up straight. Fifth brother is right. This matter must be implemented within half a month. Hurry up and distill all the flower due. Otherwise this batch of flowers will be out of season. Back in Xiangzhou Prefecture, the three siblings had a simple meal at the inn where they stayed and rested for a while. I asked the innkeeper where to go to see the house in Xiangzhou Prefecture. The innkeeper said that if Xiangzhou Prefecture wants to buy and sell houses, and slaves, they all go to the Yang. The Yang is not far from here. It takes only 2 cups of tea to walk there. The 3 siblings came to the Yang. The people who work here are all very smart people. Those who are in charge of house sales are all government officials, some men who are good at abacus, and those who are in charge of slaves are some women who can read and write, specializing in training these captive servants. From newborn babies to old people who are about to die, as long as you are captive and have not been transferred out, your children and descendants will be stamped with the seal of slaves. As soon as Suwon and the other 2 came in, the receptionist came up to greet them. Hello, distinguished guest. Are you buying or selling a house or a captive? Those who come to the Yang are all distinguished guests, because what is bought and sold in the Yang are houses, not ordinary houses, houses belonging to the government, and houses built on the foundations of individuals, which are different from private houses. Moreover, the Yang has 2 kinds of business, one is houses and the other is captive trading. Who can afford to buy slaves to serve? It must be the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie is called distinguished guests. I want to see the house. Okay, come to the left to see the house. I'll go serve tea to you guys. The house goes to the left, the servants go to the right. You can ask for anything, I guarantee you'll be satisfied. A modern version of a real estate agency. However, they make money from the price difference of the court, and they're state-owned enterprises. The person who received Suwon was a young man in his 20s, who looked very smart and capable. Dear guest, how many houses do you want to buy? How many people are there in your family? How many masters do you have, and how many servants do you have? I can introduce you to suitable houses according to the population. Do you want a bustling area or an elegant and quiet area? The size of the yard, the north-south orientation, the pattern, and the budget of how much silver you want? You can tell me if you have any requirements. I will recommend you a satisfactory one and arrange for you to see the house immediately. This service is really good. As soon as Suwon came in and sat down, someone moved a stool for her. The receptionist stood and talked to her respectfully, and tea and snacks were in place. There are 8 people in my family, no servants, but there are guests living in the house for a long time, so let's count them as 12 people. Suwon also counted her uncle's family. She wanted to find them to work for her, so they would have to stay in Xiangzhou in the future, so let's count them as 1 room each. Okay, then according to the population of the distinguished guest's family, 3 entrances would be enough, and there would be enough rooms to live in. In addition to the master's room, there are servants' rooms and guest rooms. Generally, a house with 3 entrances has 4 servants' rooms and 4 guest rooms. In other words, if the distinguished guest wants a bigger one, there are also some. How much silver would it cost to buy this 3-entry house? Suwon heard him say that it should be a little expensive, and she didn't know if it was within her budget. Her budget was at most 2,000 taels, no more. Distinguished guest, it depends on the location. If it is next to a bustling market, it will naturally be more expensive, but in a remote and quiet area, it will be cheaper. After I take you to see it, you can choose it. The clerk patiently answered him. Okay, then take me to see it now. Suwon couldn't wait. It doesn't matter if it's quiet or remote. What I want is quietness, and I can work well. Dear guest, do you have any specific requirements? I will help you choose carefully, so you can run less. The waiter wanted to know more details.
Suwon thought about it.
She was considering whether to find another place to make goat milk soap as a workshop, or to choose a place with a larger yard. Could you please step aside for a moment? I will ask my brother's opinion. Suwon wanted to discuss it with the third and fifth brothers first. Hearing this, the waiter smiled and nodded. "You're welcome. I will wait outside. Call me anytime if you have anything." After the waiter left, Suwon discussed it with Su Chun and Sui. "Third and fifth brothers, do you think we should find a house with a larger yard and make soap at home, or find another yard to make a workshop?" "Let's find another yard. As the business grows bigger in the future, we must have a separate workshop. It is always inconvenient to work at home." I think the fifth brother is right. It shouldn't cost much money to rent a yard as a workshop. This time, the three siblings had the same idea. Suwon thought so in his heart, but the fifth brother just said that if you think about everything carefully and cannot make up your mind, you should discuss it with your family. Then let's make a place for the workshop and call the clerk in. Suwon called the clerk in again and told him that his budget was only 2,000 taels, and he had no other requirements. The house had to be clean and quiet, and not close to the downtown. After listening, the clerk selected 3 houses with 3 entrances, each in 3 different places. The location is relatively close to the alley and relatively quiet. The first house is exquisite and grand. It was built less than 3 years ago. It is relatively new, with a good location, quiet and convenient for daily life. However, because a murder occurred in the house next door, it was unlucky, so it could not be sold. Otherwise, this house was not within the budget of 2,000 taels. They are all superstitious, so there are many people looking at it, but almost no one chooses it. The second one is near the city gate, with a slightly larger area. The location is considered a suburb of a city. There are no busy streets nearby, and it is far from the vegetable market, but it can be taken for only 1,600 taels. The third one is in the city center, only 2 streets away from the busiest street of Umangsala. The vegetable market is just to the left of the alley entrance. It is very quiet. The house has 3 entrances and the front and backyards are not big, but there is a small pond and 2 hibiscus trees in the backyard. Compared with the first 2 houses, except for the better location, the area is not as large as the first 2, and it was rented before. The previous family lived here for 3 years and moved away half a year ago. The flowers and plants planted in the yard have withered, but it is still very good after taking care of it. The layout has the feeling of Suzhou Gardens, with rockery and flowing water. Very Jiangnan. Suwon was attracted by the small pond in the backyard. She wanted to plant a pond of lotus and raise a few koi in it. The main thing is that there are 2 hibiscus trees that she loves the most. It is spring now, and the green leaves and tender buds on the trees are very lush. When the season comes, the hibiscus that blooms must be lush and beautiful. By then, the whole yard will be filled with the fragrance of hibiscus. How beautiful it is. Her aesthetics are too similar to Jiang Yu's. Jiang Yu bought Furong Cottage because of the pond and the hibiscus tree. He didn't want to live in his father's house, so every time he returned to the capital, he would rather live in Furong Cottage. Suwon was most satisfied with his house. The price was also cheap, 1,880 taels. It was cheap because the house had been completed 7 or 8 years ago. Some brick walls needed to be repaired. People had lived there before. Otherwise, with this location and environment, it would have cost at least 2,500 taels a few years ago. Brother, was the previous resident a clean family? Has anyone in the family been infected with an epidemic? Is there anything wrong with their behavior? Before Suwon knocked on the board, he had to ask these questions clearly. If the previous resident had a history of infectious diseases, that would not work. What if the virus was left behind? Also, if the children in the family have a bad behavior, it would not be clean and it would be disgusting to live there. Don't worry, my dear guest. This former resident is from a scholarly family with a clean family background. 2 of his sons took the imperial examinations. One of them was a top 10 jinshi 3 years ago. He was transferred to Huizhou Prefecture half a year ago and took up the post of county magistrate. Now the whole family has moved to Huizhou and lives there. Before that, this family had a dignified character. The head of the family was a kind man who often donated money to the charity hall. The mistress was a lady of good family background and was well educated. When she left, she cleaned the house very neatly. It's just that it has been empty for half a year, so it looks a bit messy now. If you are worried, you can ask the neighbors. This former resident's surname is Wang, and he has a very good reputation among the neighbors. In this case, Su Wan is relieved. Scholars and literati are mostly particular, so there shouldn't be the problems she is worried about. Third brother, fifth brother. What do you think of this house? The price is reasonable and the location is good. I think it's okay. The third brother's advice was fair, and he valued the price-performance ratio. It's quiet and elegant and convenient for living. It may not be as spacious as the two houses above, but it's warm, and Wanwan likes it very much. What the fifth brother cares about is that the family can stay together, lively, and value feelings. Then let's do this one. If you like it, you should decide it as soon as possible, so as not to regret it if something unexpected happens. Brother, we are very satisfied with this house, but my family is not in Xiangzhou, and I don't have so many silver bills with me. Can I pay a deposit of 100 taels first and decide it first, and then bring the remaining balance to the transaction in 3 days? Su Wan said, taking out 5 taels of silver and stuffing it into his hand, hoping that he would be convenient. She is also very smart. Working in the pawnbroker is a good job. I guess this brother has received a lot of rewards. Xiangzhou is so prosperous. If she doesn't give more rewards, people will probably not like it, and it will also make her look petty. Give some silver and do a favor, and people will be willing to leave the house to her. Sure enough, the clerk took the money, put it in his pocket, and smiled. Okay, as you said, I will pay a deposit of 100 taels first and leave the house to you. After 3 days, the remaining 1,780 taels will be traded. However, if you breach the contract, only half of the deposit will be returned. Do you have any objections? This is also the rule of the underworld, and it is not considered an overlord clause. In this way, Su Wan's time is very tight again. He will go back tomorrow and have only 1 day to discuss. The day after tomorrow, he will have to come to Xiangzhou to trade again. No objection, but there must be a stamped receipt as evidence. Su Wan only recognized the stamp on the receipt, so he couldn't run away. Of course, you can rest assured, our Yang is doing things for the court, and we will never do anything that is unfaithful and unrighteous. The clerk made a promise. The matter was settled. When he returned to the Yang, night had fallen, and he had been tossing for a day. After getting the receipt and paying a deposit of 100 taels of silver, the house was settled. Before leaving, the clerk told Su Wan, "Dear guest, when you go back in the next few days, please think carefully about what kind of plaque you want to have for your house. Should you put your surname on it, or give it another elegant name? After you get the deed, our company will give you the plaque for free. I guarantee you will be satisfied." Su Wan thought this benefit was good and humane, so he nodded in agreement. She would think of an elegant name. Calling it Su Mansion was too vulgar. She just wanted to be different. He returned to the inn. Su Wan felt that he had been running around all day and was really tired and sore all over. She asked the servants to boil a big bucket of water for her to bathe. After soaking in the tub, she felt comfortable all over. She was always thinking and planning for the future. Especially for workshops, you should choose a larger place. You can rent it in the early stage. If you come across a better place later, you can still regret it. I don't know whether my parents will agree to come to Xiangzhou after I go back. After all, the land at home has just been planted. Also, she plans to plant flowers in Su Wan's 3 acres of flower fields and more than 1 acre of vegetable fields, and she will continue to hire Jiang Sheng and his wife to take care of the flower fields. However, her flower field is definitely not enough to support her business, but she can use it to raise bees, so it is not a waste. When the time comes, she will ask Jiang Sheng and his wife to take care of it. She has read many books and watched many videos about beekeeping in modern times, but has never tried it herself. After she finishes settling in Xiangzhou, since we have already given Jiang Sheng and his wife hope, if it is suddenly rejected, wouldn't that be like pouring cold water on them? Give them some chance to make a living and consider it as a good deed. Moreover, she will be far away in Xiangzhou at that time, so someone will definitely need help with the beekeeping. At home, could she go to Xiangzhou to buy land for beekeeping? The next day, After breakfast, the three siblings drove out of the city and went home in their carriage. They came back, it was afternoon. The second brother came back with guests. Suwon's carriage met another carriage, went into the village, and stopped in front of the gate of Su's courtyard. Suchin was still wondering who had come. The carriage was quite exquisite. Suwon was sleeping inside and didn't even know they had arrived home, if Sui hadn't called her. When Suchun was helping Suwon get off the carriage, his second brother jumped down from the carriage behind. "Brother, why are you back?" The three Suwon siblings looked at him with confusion. "I'll explain it to you later." Su-mu smiled at her, until he helped a slightly plump old man down, and a beautiful girl who was about the same age as Suwon. Suwon realized that this must be Master Sunbedu, his second brother's great doctor and mentor. This girl must be the second brother's official wife, and also the granddaughter of the genius Dr. Sunbedu. Suwon remembered that the second brother's love line in the original novel was not written much, but it was very sweet. Cold, stubborn, and one-track-minded young man versus a quirky and mischievous young girl. "Su-mu, why don't you introduce your family to me?" Sunbedu looked at Su-mu. "Master, this is my third brother Suchin, this is my fifth brother Sui, this is the youngest sister in the family, Suwon, this is my master, and this is my master's granddaughter, Sunlinger." When she introduced Sunlinger, she gave Suwon a bright smile. Both girls are bright and beautiful in their own ways. Suwon is sweeter, while Sunlinger is more lively, just like their names. "Second brother, why do you suddenly have another master?" Suchin was confused and asked subconsciously. But Su-mu just glanced at him indifferently and was too lazy to answer him. "Master, Miss Sun, please come in and sit down." Facing the master, he became very respectful again. Everyone returned home. The sight of so many people coming back at once, and bringing guests with them, caught Su's father and mother off guard. Su-mu introduced it to them again. Su's mother quickly went to make tea. "My dear guests, please forgive me for the poor hospitality. The only good tea in my house was left by the Gu family." "You're welcome, Madam Su. I've already accepted Su-mu as my last disciple. We'll be a family from now on. There's no need to be so formal. I heard from Su-mu that you're all simple farmers. I don't have to be so particular. That won't do. This is your first visit. If we don't treat you well, we will be disrespectful. It is an honor for our Muir to be valued by the master." These words were said by Su's father, and the demeanor of the head of the family was also revealed. Su-mu is a very talented person, a rare medical genius. After several tests, I don't want his talent to be forgotten. So, I decided to take him in as my apprentice. This time, I came to visit because I wanted to take Su-mu with me to travel around and help people everywhere. I also wanted him to see more and get in touch with more difficult and complicated diseases. It is better than being trapped in this small place and being short-sighted. I am also a straightforward person. He can't come home for a year or a half, or even 3 to 5 years. It is normal for parents to miss their children when they are away. But if he wants to become a talent soon, he has to work hard from now on. I took him on a tour, and he agreed, so I came here in person to give you two a promise. I am already over 60 years old, and I don't want to have no one to succeed me, so I am willing to do my best to teach him everything I know. Su-mu was accepted as an apprentice by a doctor, and he learned more than working as a handyman in a pharmacy, so of course his father and mother were happy. However, he said that he wanted to take Su-mu traveling and it would be difficult for him to return home for 3 to 5 years, which made Su's father and mother a little hesitant. Father Su looked at Su-mu and saw that Su-mu had an uncontrollable smile on his face, but the expectation in his eyes could not be deceived. However, they didn't know before that the old man in front of them would take their son away when they met for the first time. This is hard to judge. "Dad, Mom, I have decided to follow my master to travel around the world, learn more ways to cure diseases and save lives, practice medicine to help the world, and see the beautiful mountains and rivers of Jean State. I hope that Dad and Mom will agree to forgive your son for not being able to be filial to you in the past few years. When I return after completing my studies, I will serve you every day and be filial to you. Sumu knelt down directly and spoke earnestly. Su's mother's tears fell instantly, and Su's father was at a loss, his lips trembling, not knowing how to answer. On one side was the son's plea, and on the other side was the old gentleman whom he had never met. Suwon saw her parents' hesitation, and she knew it was time for her to take action. She took a step forward, looking at Sun Beidou with a smile on her face. The old gentleman's surname is Sun. Suwon would like to ask for his full name. Please forgive me for my rudeness, Suwon greeted him. Sun Linger on the side looked at her with interest. It doesn't matter. I will always keep my name and surname, Sun Beidou. Sun Beidou stroked his beard and said frankly. After that, he laughed heartily. Sun Beidou, is he the famous Master Sun Beidou who is an expert in both medicine and poison? Suwon pretended to be surprised and covered his mouth. Yes, it's me, Sun Beidou admitted generously. Oh my God, Dad, Mom, what great luck has my second brother had? This is the famous Master Sun Beidou. He is a master of both medicine and poison. He has saved countless lives and cured countless difficult and complicated diseases. His medical skills have been praised by people and have not been matched for the past 200 years. If my second brother becomes his last disciple, his future will be bright and his future will be limitless. After Suwon finished saying these words in shock, Sun Linga smiled unkindly. It was obvious that she was deliberately trying to build a bridge, wanting Su's parents to nod and agree without hesitation. However, the little sister's shocked reaction was a bit fake. Although Suwon didn't know what Sun Linger was laughing at, she still blushed, feeling a little guilty. Even Master Sun Beidou raised his eyebrows and laughed along, thinking that this girl is quite clever. His granddaughter was the same age as her, so when he saw Suwon, his expression softened unconsciously. However, Su's father and mother were really intimidated by Suwon's remarks. He sounded so awesome. They were not well informed and had never heard of the name Sun Beidou, but after listening to Suwon's remarks, they felt that he seemed super powerful. Is their son really so promising? Is he accepted as a disciple by such a great doctor? Muur, is what Wanwan said true? Su's mother asked cautiously. Sumu nodded and agreed. It is a great honor for our family. Muur, you must follow Dr. Sun. Watch carefully, learn well, and don't let Mr. Sun down. In ancient times, teachers were generally called Xiansheng, or elders were called Xiansheng, which was a respectful title. Before, half believing and half doubting, but his son and daughter had already confirmed it, so how could he miss such a good opportunity? Yes, your father is right. You must work hard to learn medical skills from Mr. Sun so that you can cure diseases and save lives in the future and benefit the people. The husband follows suit, and after Su's father expressed his opinion, Su's mother also expressed her opinion one after another. This means that Sumu agrees to travel around with Sun Beidou. Sumu was very excited and kowtowed twice to his father and mother on the spot. Thank you, Dad. Hurry up, kid. You're going to learn medicine not to do anything bad. As long as you explain it to us clearly, your father and I will agree to let you go. When you go, don't always think about home. Be at ease. Your father, I, and your brothers and sisters will be waiting for you to come back. Su's mother helped Sumu, who was kneeling on the ground, up. Mr. Sun, we had many doubts before, so we didn't express our opinions. Now, I'll trouble you to take care of my second son. If he doesn't study hard or does something wrong, you must be ruthless in teaching him a lesson. Beat him when he deserves it and punish him when he deserves it. Mr. Su's behavior is so realistic, just like modern parents. When children are sent to school, teachers will beat and discipline them if they are disobedient.
Mr.
Su, I believe Sumu is a good child and won't cause us too much worry. If Sun Beidou was not sure that his talents and qualities were excellent, how could he have decided to accept him as his disciple? Sir, when do you plan to leave Qinghe County?
Suwon asked.
It's just a few days. This time I followed Sumu back because I wanted him to say goodbye to you properly and stay with you for a few days before leaving. Sun Beidou replied with a smile. Suwon was actually thinking that she was about to move to Xiangzhou, and if she left in a hurry, wouldn't her second brother be able to see the new house before leaving? Sir, why don't you stay at home and play for a few days? I'll go and clean up the room for you and Miss Sun. Sue's mother was hospitable and wanted to invite the grandfather and grandson to have dinner and stay overnight at her home. You don't have to stay the night. You can stay for dinner before leaving. Linger, and I will go to Xiangzhou to wait. It won't be too late for Su Mu to stay at home with you for a few days before coming back. Sun Beidou politely declined to stay overnight. That's great. Suwon has to go to Xiangzhou the day after tomorrow anyway, so he can go with his second brother. But she was in no hurry to say anything now. She decided to entertain the guests first. Fortunately, I came back. If I hadn't, I wouldn't be able to give my second brother the clothes I bought for him. Then, tonight, I will cook a meal for everyone myself. I also bought a lot of snacks from Xiangzhou. Mom, you can open them and let the master and Miss Sun taste them. I will go prepare the dishes. Okay, go ahead. I'll ask your father to buy 2 fish and a few pounds of mutton. Sue's mother was overjoyed. Seeing that her son had made progress and had a bright future, how could a mother not be happy? I'll go now. Remember to entertain Mr. Sun and Miss Sunday Sumu. Just keep talking to the gentleman. Lao Wu, aren't you good at drawing portraits? You can draw one for Miss Sun as well, so that she won't be bored. Who suddenly received the task, had not reacted yet. He was just thinking that this Master Sun Beidou must be the one Jiang you mentioned before. Teaching Master Wang a lesson that day, he took out the emergency medicine and said it was made by Master Sun Beidou. Oh, I'll get the paper, pencils, and paints right away. Don't bother me, I'm fine. Sun Linger quickly waved her hand to refuse, sorry to bother her. Miss Sun, Cousin Suyi's portrait is really well painted. You will know if you try it. You will definitely be amazed. Yang Qingqing wanted to praise Su Yi's painting skills. She was amazed when she saw Su Wan's portrait. She didn't allow it, and Sun Linger didn't know about it. You have a young man in your family who can paint, Linger. You should give it a try, and don't let Mr.
Su down.
Sun Beidou was very interested. What the boy wrote in the letter was very impressive, saying that all the young men in the Su family were outstanding people. He wanted to see how many of them were outstanding people today. Since Grandpa had spoken, Sun Linger had no choice but to sit down and let Su Yi draw quietly. Su Yi took out the paintbrush and paint and became extra serious when it came to things related to his profession. Sun Beidou didn't chat with Su Mu either, but watched Su Yi paint the whole time. Seeing Sun Linger's outline gradually becoming clearer, the charm between her eyebrows and eyes was portrayed vividly by him. Even Sun Beidou, who had seen so many paintings and calligraphy, was amazed. He kept stroking his beard and nodding slowly. Great. Where did you learn this painting from? Sun Beidou asked Su Yi. Sir, I have never had a master. I am self-taught.
Su Yi answered truthfully.
Oh, self-taught? That's amazing. You look only about 15 or 16 years old. Sun Beidou was even more surprised that he had never been taught by a teacher. To reply to your question, Sir, I am already 16 years old. I turned 15 in late autumn last year, which means I am 16 years old. If that's the case, then your talent is second to none in the past 200 years. If you cultivate it, your future achievements will be limitless. It's a pity that I haven't met any great painters, otherwise I would definitely recommend you to become his disciple. I wish you success and fame soon. Sun Beidou instantly thought of all his friends in the martial arts world who had made achievements, but he couldn't find a friend who was the best in painting. There is any, they just treat painting as a hobby and paint occasionally, but their paintings are not even half as good as this young man's. Thank you for your kindness, sir. It is an honor for me to be appreciated by you. Su Yi is still quite humble. When Sun Linga heard her grandfather's evaluation, she immediately became curious and wanted to see how good the painting was. Finally, Su Yi finished painting Sun Linger's portrait. Before Sun Linger herself had time to appreciate it, her grandfather held the portrait in his arms to admire it first, with an expression of unstoppable satisfaction. Good, good. The painting is indeed good, and the charm is really captured. Sun Linger stood up from the chair and ran to her grandfather. Grandpa, don't just admire it yourself. Let me see it too. Oh, yes, yes, take a look. Do you like it? Sun Beidou handed the painting to Sun Linger. When Sun Linger saw it, surprise flashed in her eyes. The portrait of herself was like looking in a mirror. It was too similar. The goose yellow color she was wearing today perfectly captured her playful and lively spirit. It's a great painting. Sun Linger couldn't help but admire it. She really liked it. She watched it over and over again and liked it more and more. Dinner time, Su-won made a classic dish of braised pork, braised fish, roasted rabbit, spicy chicken, braised pork head, and a hot pot of lamb. It was very sumptuous. I picked from the mountain to grind 10 pounds of pepper powder and 10 pounds of dried pepper segments. I pickled some of the green peppers in a jar and dried some into white peppers. Not a single drop was wasted. Chili powder is fried in oil to become chili oil, and it is also seasoned with soy sauce, white sesame seeds, and chopped green onions. Used to dip mutton, very delicious. It was the first time for Grandpa Sun Beidou and his grandson to see such dishes. The colors and eating methods were all different from those outside. He didn't move his chopsticks, and no one in the Su family moved their chopsticks either. He picked up a piece of braised pork and put it in his mouth in one bite. Even the elderly can't resist braised pork, right? It is soft, glutinous, fresh, and fragrant, melts in your mouth, and has no greasy feeling of fat at all. The braised dishes are delicious because of the soy sauce. Braised pork is also very popular with Sun Beidou. Sun Linger, however, fell in love with the spicy diced chicken and the lamb with dip. Because it contained chili peppers, she really liked the taste, but she didn't know it was called spicy. The red thing inside is pepper fruit. I didn't expect it could be used for cooking. It's delicious. Her grandfather studied medicine, and she also studied medicine, so it was not surprising that she knew chili. Well, how did you achieve the color of this dish? Do you have any secrets? I haven't eaten such a satisfying meal in a long time. Sun Beidou is already having his second bowl of rice because the braised pork is really good with rice. Mr. Sun, the dish is this color because it contains soy sauce. It is a secret recipe developed by my fourth brother himself. He will use it to open a restaurant in the future. This is a unique flavor. This way of eating pepper fruit is totally my creative idea. I didn't expect it to taste so good. It's quite a surprise. Su-won patiently answered the doubts of the grandfather and grandson. Sun Beidou nodded and praised. You are all smart children. Mr. and Mrs. Su are so lucky. All the children in your family are capable, he said, and gave a thumbs up. Embarrassed, but their children were definitely very capable, and the parents had to admit that. After dinner, it was already night, and Sun Beidou and his grandson were ready to leave and rushed to Xiongzhou overnight. Before leaving, Su-won packed 2 bars of camellia goat milk soap for his own use, 2 bars of ordinary dyed soap, and 2 bars of hair soap left over from last year, and gave them to Sun Linger. This is my future sister-in-law, so we have to maintain a good relationship with her. Miss Sun, this is the goat milk soap I made myself. These 2 pieces can be used to wash clothes and hands. These 2 pieces can be used for bathing. They have the scent of camellia, which is very nice. And these 2 pieces are specially for washing hair, but they cannot be used to wash your face. Sun Linger held them all in her arms. She had never used them before, but she felt that the Su family were very reliable and they should be good things. Thank you, Miss Sulu. She turned around and handed the goat milk soap to the driver, asking him to keep it, then took off a necklace made of rosewood beads from her neck. 6th Miss, you and I are of similar age. We met today, and will be friends in the future. You gave me a gift, but I didn't prepare anything special for you. This red sandalwood bead necklace is something I got recently. I haven't worn it many times. I hope you don't dislike it. Red sandalwood beads can calm your mind when worn. I especially gave it to you today to show my appreciation. We will be sisters in the future. Made of red sandalwood have always been rare and valuable. Su-won was embarrassed to accept it and quickly refused. Miss Sun, this is too valuable. I can't accept it. The gift I gave you is insignificant, but you gave me such a good thing. It's not appropriate. Please take it back. But the gift you gave me is valuable. because of the thought. Today in your house, I felt your kindness. You're all good people. I like you very much, so please don't reject me. After Sun Linger finished speaking, she simply put the rosewood bead necklace around Suwon's neck, not allowing Suwon to refuse. She rarely takes the initiative to make friends with anyone, but she thinks Suwon is very interesting and different from all the girls she has met. Thank you, Miss Sun, for your kindness. I have already opened a mansion in Xiangzhou and named it Furong Shaozhu. It is located in Xinghua Lane in Xiangzhou Prefecture. If you find the goat milk soap useful in the future, please send someone to send a letter after you have used it up. Any type of soap in our house will be provided to Miss Sun for free. Hibiscus Cottage? What a nice name. Very elegant. In that case, I will respectfully obey your order. Sun Linger gave her a small gift. Sun Beidou was listening on the side, and he didn't expect that Suwon actually established a government office and bought a house in Xiangzhou. From Sumu before that her sister started her own business. I didn't expect it to be true. I guess the goat milk soap she was talking about is her business. He bought a house in Xiangzhou in a short period of time, which means his business is doing well. Hey, that kid really didn't lie. Every child in the Su family is extraordinary. The eldest son is taking the imperial examination. I heard that he passed the provincial examination when he was just 16 years old and became a jurin, and he has a good chance of becoming a jinshi. The second son is extremely gifted in medical skills, and he has now taken him under his wing. The third brother is the only disciple of Jiang Yunhe, so he must have learned all the martial arts. The fourth brother is just a chef. The dishes he cooks with the secret recipe are really delicious. If he opens a restaurant in the future, his business will surely be very popular. And there is Lao Wu, the most talented young man in painting he has ever seen in his life. He is self-taught, and with training, he will make great achievements in the literary world in the future. And the youngest daughter turned out to be a good business person, talented, beautiful, well-educated, and sensible. When Suwon said that he had opened a mansion in Xiangzhou, except for Su Chen and Su Yi, the rest of the people were so surprised that their jaws almost dropped to the ground. What the heck? Suwon ran away and came back to Xiangzhou. Did he buy a house? Did he even give her a name? After seeing Sun Beidou off, the family returned home and sat down to discuss their own affairs. Suwon took out all the things he bought for everyone and shared them with everyone. The pearl flowers and rouge were divided a little between my aunt and Yang Qingqing. Give them Su's mother's clothes and second brother's clothes, and let them see if they like them. Sumu opened the bundle and looked at the two neatly folded white robes inside. He looked at Suwon in confusion. Wanwan, why are mine ready-made clothes? I saw it on the street and thought it would suit my second brother, so I bought it. Now it just so happens that my second brother is going out to travel. Following Mr. Sun, he must have 2 sets of decent clothes. I think I bought it for the right reason. My second brother looks very good in white. He is the best-looking man in white I have ever seen. Su Wan's explanation and sugar-coated words made Su Mu's brows even more furrowed. He looked at Su Wan with a complicated expression, feeling a little ashamed. In fact, Su Wan has been back for so long, and he has not spent much time with her, the least among all the brothers, and he has never done anything for her, but she is so good to him and thinks of him as her brother in everything. What should he do? His inner burden became even heavier. What's wrong? Second brother doesn't like it? Suwon looked at his conflicted expression, and his smile gradually faded. Originally, everyone else in the family was happily looking at their own things, but when they heard this, they all looked at Su Mu at the same time. No, I like you very much. I was just thinking that Wanwan is so good to me, but I have accomplished nothing now. How can I repay you?
Sumu said bluntly.
Oh, I thought it was something else. If you feel bad, you should think of ways to prepare more dowry for me in the future. I don't want to do business at a loss. Suwon joked with a smile, but Sumu took it seriously. Okay, sure. Su's mother also particularly liked the ready-made clothes that Suwon bought for her, and the colors were also her favorite. However, when it comes to Suwon's house, Su's father still has to ask in detail. Wanwan, what do you mean by opening a government office in Xiangzhou? Having said that, Suwon took a deep breath and told him all his plans, concerns, and current difficulties. She said frankly that she hoped her parents would follow her to Xiangzhou Prefecture, and that she also hoped her uncle could come to help her. He finished speaking, everyone in the family looked at each other and fell silent. My uncle, in order to avoid the county magistrate's son, he gave up all the fields and livestock at home. If he goes back, what will he eat next year? If the county magistrate's son continues to pester her, what will happen to cousin Qingqing? So, when my uncle's family heard that Suwon wanted to hire them to help make goat milk soap and give them a bright future, they would definitely agree. But my sister and brother-in-law haven't spoken yet, so it's difficult for them to express their opinions. A long silence. Father Su said, Wanwan, Dad supports you going to Xiangzhou, but please let me have a good discussion with your mother tonight and give you a definite answer tomorrow morning, okay? Father Su spoke to Suwon in a gentle voice. She still had 1 day left, so there was no rush. She would let her parents discuss it. After my parents returned to their room, my uncle's family expressed their opinions. Wanwan, you're willing to give Uncle a chance to live. Uncle is really grateful to you, really. You are a good child, willing to trust us. In the future, your business will be my business. I will work diligently and conscientiously, and will not disclose any secret recipe of goat milk soap to others. You write a document and have your uncle sign it. If anyone dares to leak any business information, you will send your uncle to jail. Yang Ming knew that this goat milk soap was very profitable, and he also knew what it would mean if the goat milk soap business became successful. How many people would be coveting this business, so the formula of goat milk soap must be strictly guarded. To show his sincerity, he made a sincere oath in front of Suwon. Suwon decided to use his uncle for 2 reasons. First, during the time he was at home, he did not actively listen or ask questions, but he would take the initiative to avoid suspicion. This is what a smart person does. Second, he is Su's mother's only relative, and Suwon should help him out of both moral and legal reasons. Uncle, I believe in you. Let us work together to create a better future. When Suwon said this, the unwavering expression on his face gave him the feeling of being the top salesman in a top sales team. The next morning, during dinner, Father Su gave Suwon a reply. Wanwan, your mother and I have already discussed the matter of going to Xiangzhou. Your mother, your brothers, and your uncle's family will go with you to help you. Dad will stay at home to take care of the farmland this season, as well as the peppers in the field. They can't be left unattended, right? After this season's rice is harvested, Dad will come to Xiangzhou to see you. Last night, I thought about it. You 6 brothers and sisters are all going to make a name for yourself in the future, so I can't just focus on the present and be short-sighted. But Dad is a man who will finish what he starts. I have to finish harvesting this season's rice fields before I can rest. Father Su has worked hard for most of his life, and suddenly he has to give up his status as a peasant. He is a little uncomfortable with it. Maybe this is the last time he farms in his life. At the moment, this is indeed the best choice. Dad stays at home to take care of the farmland and look after the house, and the others go to Xiangzhou to work hard together. Since his family has agreed, Suwon has nothing to worry about. He canceled the order for the brick kiln and notified Jiang Sheng and others to sow flower seeds on the more than 1 acre of land in front of the Su family's house. When Xiangzhou settles down, she will come back to do beekeeping. Now, after a few rains, the flower seedlings in the fields have grown to calf height. Maybe in 2 months, we'll be able to see flowers. Suwon didn't waste any time. The next day, he packed up his things, took the banknotes, and went back to Xiangzhou City to pay the balance. He also stopped by the He family workshop to change the delivery address. Su's mother and the others were packing up at home. Once Su Chen got the land deed from Xiangzhou, he would hire a few more carriages to move. He also had to go to his uncle's house to pack up their things, while Suwon stayed in Xiangzhou Prefecture to hire someone to clean the house and buy the new furniture. Su Mu and she went to Xiangzhou together, and the grandfather and grandson's son Beidou lived in Yuanman West Tower. Su Mu was afraid that Suwon was too busy, so he stayed to help her for 2 days. Coming out of the pawn shop, Suwon was holding the land deed in his hand, feeling very satisfied. She wanted to find someone to clean the house, and she could hire the servants from the pawnbroker and pay them. Suwon hired 10 maids at once to clean and tidy up Farong Cottage, take care of the yard, and plant new flowers and plants. She looked again and saw if there was anything she needed to buy, so she bought it all at once. She earned 5,000 taels of silver from selling the recipe for shaki ma, and she had already spent 2,000 taels. The cleaning was done quickly after hiring someone. Suwon replaced the beds in all the rooms with new ones. After all, they had been slept in by others before, so he was somewhat uneasy and felt uncomfortable, so he simply replaced them all with new ones. Those coffee tables and wardrobes, most of them are still intact, so those that can be kept are kept. There are also some details, such as the gauze curtains that separate the outer and inner rooms in the room, which also need to be replaced if they are damaged. Su Chun hired 4 carriages to go back, plus one of his own, a total of 5 carriages. Mainly because there were several hundred kilograms of unused almond oil, 500 kilograms of soapberry, some miscellaneous molds, and so on, which took up 2 carriages and could not fit them all. The family didn't have much of their own stuff, not even many clothes. 2 days after Suwon arrived in Xiangzhou, the house had been packed up, and everyone except Su's father had come to Xiangzhou. We confirmed our trip to Xiangzhou the day before. We started packing at home. They hired someone to clean the house, and it only took them 1 day to finish it. Suwon took a pen and paper and looked around to see if there was anything else to buy. Sumu saw that she was so busy that she didn't even have time to drink water for 2 days in a row. She was running back and forth between the carpentry shop and the fabric shop. Knowing that she still had things to do at the workshop, Sumu simply took the paper and pen from her hand, looked at the words on it which were not really pretty, and fell into deep thought. Some of the complex characters were written in a blob because too much ink was used, and one could only rely on the strokes at the corners to make out what the characters were. He couldn't help laughing, and Suwon knew that he was laughing at his ugly handwriting. "Brother, don't laugh at me. I didn't expect that our Wanwan also has things that he is not good at." When Sumu said this, his tone was quite doting. "No one is perfect." Suwon pursed her lips. Could she say that she was used to writing with a water-based pen and couldn't write with a brush? It's pretty good written like this. At least it's still recognizable. "Okay, I'll help you take care of these things in the house. When the furniture is delivered, I'll help you look after it. Don't you still have to take care of the things in the workshop? Go quickly and make sure it's settled sooner, so I can follow Master and the others with peace of mind." Sumu felt uneasy leaving as there were so many things going on at home. Yes, Suwon also needs to go to the dental clinic to find a large yard to use as a workshop. We quickly decided to start the business and open the Xiangzhou market, while there were still 7 counties in the territory that had not been opened. "Okay, I'll go to the dentist first. Dad and Mom will be here this afternoon. You wait at home, brother. I'll leave the housework to you." Suwon finally found time to drink 2 sips of tea and hurriedly stuffed a few pieces of cake into his mouth. After filling her stomach, she hurried out to the dentist. The guys in the dental office all recognized her. She had been coming more frequently recently, and being a pretty girl, she left a particularly deep impression on people. "Miss Su, what instructions do you have for me today?" They already knew that Suwon's last name was Su. "I also want to see the yard, the kind of big yard used for opening a workshop. It would be best if there were a few rooms for living and storing things." Suwon stated his needs. "Yes, please specify the requirements. We guarantee that you will be satisfied."
Do you want to rent or buy?
There is no house or yard that a pawnshop cannot find. There is nothing they cannot find, only things you can't think of. Moreover, there are so many people doing business and many of them want to open workshops, so they have such courtyards.
Rent it.
Suwon wants to rent a property in the early stage, and if he can't find a better one in the later stage, he will consider buying it. If you rent a house here, the minimum lease term is 1 year. There are no less than 10 courtyards that meet Miss Su's requirements, but there are only 4 that are close to your house. You can take Miss to see them one by one, and you can take whichever one you like.
Nari.
This dental dealer was very considerate and even knew to introduce her to one that was close to home. I followed the guy and visited 4 courtyards. They were quadrangular courtyards, each of which was more than 200 square meters in size, which was more than enough for drying soap. There were also several rooms around them. When workers are hired, these rooms can be used as staff dormitories, and 2 rooms can be left as warehouses. It will be perfect. Soo-won chose the largest one, with a monthly rent of 20 taels, but the total cost for a year was 200 taels. There is a well in the yard that provided an unlimited supply of water, so Soo-won rented it for a year. The workshop is 2 blocks away from my home, so it is very convenient to travel. The next step is to hire workers, but Soo-won is thinking, if he hires workers, what if they leak the secret recipe of goat milk soap? Or she could buy a few servants, with their indentures in her hands, which meant she was holding their lives in her hands. If they dare to betray, they will be servants for the rest of their lives. If they performed well, she might return the documents of sale to them and give them wages so that they could have enough money to go to the government to get rid of their citizenship in the future. But I have to think about this matter carefully after I go back and discuss with my family to decide how many people to hire to do the work. When Soo-won came back from the dental office, his mother and her family had already arrived, with a row of carriages parked outside the house. The furniture in the house has been delivered, and it cost nearly 100 taels of silver to set it up. Soo-moo watched them put the furniture in place, and then checked them one by one. Soo-chun just came out with his men, and was about to move almond oil and soapberry in, but was stopped by Soo-won. Third brother, there is no need to move back home. Just move directly to the new yard I rented. The workshop will be open there in the future. Tell them to drive the carriage and follow me. Had just arrived home when Soo-won had to take them back again. In the box in her hand were the lease documents and keys of the yard. Did you go to rent a yard? I was looking for you everywhere just now, but couldn't find you. Soo-chun walked up to her and said, "Why are you looking for me? Didn't my second brother tell you where I was going?" Soo-won asked puzzledly. "We just arrived and Mom and Dad just went in." "Oh, then let's move the things to the workshop first to save the trouble of moving them around." Soo-won did not go home directly. Instead, he got on a carriage and delivered the materials to the workshop with his third brother before returning. The room is divided into the master bedroom and the second bedroom. Soo-won lives in the middle yard where the hibiscus tree is planted. All the Soo family members live here. My uncle and his family lived in the guest room in the front yard, and the backyard was the kitchen, warehouse, woodshed, and servants' room. Everyone packed up their own things and chose the room they liked. Soo-won chose the one closest to the hibiscus tree. The tree had already sprouted new buds and was green and lush, just waiting to bloom. The pond has been cleaned out, clean water has been brought in, and lotus seeds have been sown into it. I will choose a time to pick a few koi to raise. Fourth brother and eldest brother have already been cleaned up, and I have to write a letter to Kyoto to inform eldest brother to send his letters to Farong Cottage in the future. Soo-won didn't know yet that the name he chose for the house was the same as Jeong-yu's. When my eldest brother wrote to me, he only wrote that the letter was sent to number 28, Farong Lane, Kyoto, but he didn't mention that it was also called Farong Cottage. The main reason is that Kyoto is so big and there are so many houses that it would be difficult to find them all based on the names, so the alley and house number are clearly marked. The kitchen had not been cleaned up yet and the firewood had not been delivered yet, so they couldn't cook for the time being. Soo-won simply took his family out to eat and took the opportunity to discuss the purchase of servants. Now, the residence and workshop have been decided. The most urgent thing is to clean up the workshop. Then I plan to go to the pawnbroker to buy some people to do the work. If I hire them, I am afraid that the recipe will be leaked out, which is not safe. I might as well buy servants and hold their indentures in our hands. They dare not betray us, so I want to ask for everyone's opinions. Soo-won's worries are not groundless. If you hire someone to do something without the restriction of a contract, those greedy people may do something for the sake of profit. However, having the indenture in hand was enough to restrain them. They dared not act rashly, nor did they dare to let themselves, or even their descendants, be trapped in servantry for the rest of their lives for the sake of profit. These people who were born as servants only wanted to escape from servantry all their lives. At worst, if they met a better master, they could live a decent life. Soo-won will be a good boss and will give them the respect they deserve. You are the boss, you can handle this matter on your own, we have no objection. Sue's mother didn't understand this either, so she couldn't express her opinion. Wan, you have thought it through. Indeed, to be on the safe side, it is more practical to hire someone to do the work. Yi thought this was a good idea. After all, their family was not a vicious family, so they would not treat them unfairly. Yes, when you're not around, your uncle will help you keep an eye on them. If anyone dares to leak it, I will be the first to break his legs. Suwon said from the beginning that she would leave the workshop affairs to her uncle, while she would run around to open up business channels. She is determined to expand the goat milk soap business across the country. Second brother, third brother, what do you think? Su Chun and Su Mu have not expressed their opinions yet, and Suwon wants to hear them. Wan, just handle it yourself. I don't understand anything about business. Su Chun scratched his head and answered embarrassedly. He can only do some heavy work like running errands. If you ask him to do the math, he can't do it. Since you have thought it through, go ahead and buy it. But you must pay attention to its character. Don't buy someone with bad character. I will go with you to choose and help you check. Su Mu felt that there was nothing wrong with the idea of buying servants to do things, but one must be careful when choosing people. Some people are born bad and hide very well. If you are not careful, they will deceive you. If you keep them around, there will be endless troubles. His second brother was a very rational person, and he was trustworthy in everything he did. Suwon was already the third person to go to the dental clinic. He brought his second brother Su Mu to the clinic early in the morning. But this time, she was here to buy someone, so she had to go to the right. Who received them was a middle-aged woman who was overweight and had a shrewd look. She worked in the dental industry and was called Madame Yang. My lord, when you choose servants, do you want males or females? Are there any age requirements? Are there any appearance requirements? Do you want someone who can do fine work or rough labor? Do you want someone who is good at gardening or cooking in the kitchen? There were also some rules for selling servants. Those who did delicate work and served closely, and those with decent looks were sold at a higher price. The cheapest job is menial work, which involves sweeping, cleaning, washing clothes, and cooking, and there is no requirement for appearance. Suwon naturally chose young people because young people are smart, work efficiently, and most importantly, are motivated. Younger, careful, strong, good-tempered, no requirement for appearance as long as they can work and also have a decent mind, can't have bad intentions. 2 men and 3 servants are required. Nana Yang wrote down Suwon's requests one by one, then took Suwon to the backyard, moved stools for her and her second brother, served tea, and sat under the eaves. This place is like a large staff dormitory where all the sold servants are. When no one was buying, they would help the pawn shop with work. The men helped with house repairs, while the maids helped with plantation management. When the dental clinic builds new houses, the labor force comes from here, so they are never left idle. But doing these things is really tiring, so every day they look forward to being bought by a good family so that they can have a stable and leisurely job. Nana Yang called out dozens of people and lined them up in 2 rows, men and women respectively. All of them were selected according to Suwon's requirements, those with good tempers, efficient work, and young. The youngest is only 13 or 14 years old, and the oldest is in his early 20s. Suwon asked them to introduce themselves one by one, and those who were not shy or stuttering were kept, and then he carefully selected them. After a round of screening, there were 12 left, 7 women and 5 men. The reason why I bought 2 male servants was that I thought they could do some heavy work in the workshop. However, selecting flowers, distilling floral extracts, drying flowers, and packaging are all delicate tasks, so they require a few careful maids. Let's buy 5 for now. Her uncle and others help her usually, and she will also go to the workshop to help. So many people are needed in the early stage, and if there are not enough in the later stage, she can buy a few more. Sumu asked about the remaining people's backgrounds one by one, including how many people were in their families, where their hometowns were from, and where they had worked in the past. Finally, those who were chosen were those with simple family relationships and few brothers and sisters. There are fewer things to do at home, so there will be less trouble, and things will be simpler without any mistakes. There were 3 maids, one named Mongzhong, one named Guyu, and one named Xiaoman. They were all 15 years old and had ordinary looks. However, from what I just learned, These people are not timid and are quite smart. The main thing is that their parents both work for wealthy families. Suwon thought that they should be smart people because of what they taught by example. There are many rules in wealthy families, and they should also know what they should and should not ask. The two men were brothers. One was 16 and the other 18. Suwon saw that they were strong and sturdy, and it was obvious at first glance that they were not the kind of people with many schemes. The older brother is called Dashu, and the younger brother is called Xiaoshu. Men don't have to be too smart, as long as they are strong. Work more and ask less. Their names are all based on the solar terms, which is quite interesting. Finally, Suwon and Sumu decided that these were the only people they wanted, and they knocked on the board and asked for the price with Nanny Yang. The prices of these are all in the mid-range, not expensive but not cheap either. 60 taels each. The total is 300 taels. The currency of Jin State was 101 to 1 liang, so this price was not high when it came to buying and selling servants. Because this is a lifetime buyout, that's why it costs so much. Some families only bought servants for 2 or 3 years at a time, and the price of a servant ranged from 5 to 10 taels per year. The cheapest servant girl would cost between 30 and 50 taels for her lifetime because she was old. When these servants were bought, they had no social status and no monthly salary. Unlike the girls from good families, they entered the government office to work because they were poor. They signed documents for several years and received monthly salary. It was only because they were good citizens that they received this preferential treatment. But if you are lucky and meet a good family, they will give you some money every month. The feudal system of Jin State still had a strong presence. Nationwide alone, the number of servants exceeded 10 million. Moreover, many of these servants were deported to servantry because their families had committed crimes and their homes were confiscated, and they were exiled. Those who are lucky become servants and maids, while those who are unlucky end up in brothels and become prostitutes. Moreover, if these servants wanted to redeem their own indentures, they had to pay 3 times their own price. This undoubtedly put an end to their hopes. Where would they get so much silver to redeem their indentures? Another thing is, what's the use of getting the indenture? It still costs 200 taels to go to the government to get rid of the indenture. But those who are extremely beautiful are a different story. If the master likes you and you become his concubine, the master will release you from the household registration. Therefore, the prices of these most beautiful servants were very high, starting from 100 taels. Suwon paid the banknote and gave Madame Yang 5 taels of silver as a reward. She was busy running around, so Suwon had to be considerate and give her some reward. Nanny Yang brought their indentures to Suwon. After Suwon and Sumu verified them and confirmed that there were no problems, they took the 5 people away. They packed up their things and followed Suwon obediently to the dental clinic. They were very confused, not knowing whether the master they were following this time was good or bad. If they followed a good master, they might be able to live a peaceful life. If they followed a bad master, their life would be over. Suwon took them directly to the workshop yard. After entering, he separated the men and women into separate rooms. Each room could accommodate 4 people and had a large bunk bed. There are 6 rooms in the yard, 3 used as warehouses, 3 for living, and a kitchen for cooking. You guys go pack your things first. There are 4 people in 1 room. Maybe more people will come later. Please pay attention to cleaning. The room should be clean and tidy. After you have packed up, come out. I will tell you what we will do in the future. Yes, master. The 5 people responded respectfully and in unison. They were all well disciplined. When talking to their masters, they would lower their heads slightly, look straight ahead, and behave properly. They were quite quick and quickly packed their bags. Then they came out and stood obediently in the yard, waiting for Suwon to lecture them. At this time, the people who came to deliver firewood came over. Suwon arranged for them to pile the firewood in the corner of the kitchen. The pots, pans, rice, flour, and oil were all prepared. They also saw work to do, and when they saw there was something to do, they took the initiative to move firewood. After finishing, they stood in the yard again, neatly arranged. Sumu moved a stool and asked Suwon to sit down and give him a lecture, making him act like a proper master. You must establish your authority in front of them before they will consider you. Let me introduce myself. My last name is Sue. You don't need to call me Master anymore. Just call me Mississippi. You will follow me and work for me. I will not treat you unfairly. Your main job in the future is to work in this workshop and help make things. I will teach you in person later. There is a kitchen in the yard. I have prepared firewood, rice, oil, salt, sauce, vinegar, and tea for you. You can cook and eat here. Usually, my uncle and others will also work here. You don't have to feel burdened. No one treats you as servants here. Follow me and work hard. I will pay you 2 taels of silver per month, and you won't work for nothing. Speaking of the 2 taels of silver per month as wages, the 5 people couldn't help but look up at Suwon, then quickly turned away. Suwon had a gentle smile on his face. They looked at each other, but did not dare to look at each other for too long. They were trembling with fear, but it was obvious that they were very excited about the 2 taels of silver every month. It turns out that being a servant can also earn you money. Don't get excited. This is nothing. This is my basic respect for you. If you have any dissatisfaction with your food, clothing, housing, and transportation, you can always tell me. Every quarter, I will make 2 new sets of clothes and new shoes for each of you. There will be red envelopes during festivals. If you are tired from work, you can have 2 days off every month, and you can go wherever you want to play. But the premise is that your indentures are in my hands. I hope that you can do your job here and abide by your duties. Don't leak out things that shouldn't be leaked. I will sell you out without hesitation. You should know that if you leave me and go to another place, you may not get such good treatment. We will prosper together and suffer together. Follow me and work hard. After 3 years, if you perform well, I will consider returning the indentures to you and giving you the opportunity to get rid of your citizenship. After you become a good citizen, when my business grows in the future, maybe I can promote one of you to be a manager. It all depends on who has the ability. Suwon extended an olive branch. With such good benefits and such great temptations, if they still couldn't be loyal, then Suwon's kindness would be in vain. I am not afraid of people who have no ambition, but I am afraid of people who belittle themselves and would rather be servants all their lives. You see, after Suwon said these words, the 5 of them all looked surprised and unbelieving. Xiaoman knelt down excitedly. Miss, is everything you said true? Of course it's true. I, Suwon, can't go back on my words. As long as you do what I say, work hard, and have ambition, nothing is impossible. I don't ask for much, just absolute loyalty. You give me sincerity, and I will give you light. Isn't that good? Suwon never thought of treating them as servants. She came from the 21st century. How could she have such class ideas? Therefore, she used both kindness and severity to give them enough dignity. You won't work in vain. All your efforts will be rewarded. However, there was a reason why she only gave them 2 taels of silver a month. She couldn't let them eat too much at one time. If they fed their appetites too big, something bad would happen. However, 2 taels of silver is better than nothing, so don't think it's too little. The remaining 4 people all knelt down in unison, looking at Suwon with excitement. For them, even if Suwon did not do what he said, they at least had hope. However, Suwon obviously did not frame them, which meant that all their efforts in the future would be rewarded. The boss said that as long as they did a good job over a 3-year period, he would give them a contract to sell their bodies. 2 taels of silver a month frugally. You can save dozens of taels in 3 years. They're still young, so they can take it slow and just follow the young lady and work hard. We are willing to sacrifice our lives for the young lady and will never betray her. The 5 people spoke almost in unison. His voice was loud and confident. After he finished speaking, he kowtowed to Suwon 3 times. Okay, that's enough for you to say. All of you get up. Mangjong, come here. They got up. Suwon called Mangjong to come over. She took out 5 ounces of silver and handed it to her. This is this month's living expenses. Rice, flour, and oil are all ready. If you want to eat something, just go to the market and buy it. Don't be extravagant or wasteful. From now on, you are in charge of the living expenses. You must plan carefully how to spend this money. Mangjong is the most experienced among the 5 people. She used to work as a shopping assistant in the kitchen of a wealthy family, so Soo-won gave her the living expenses. Yes, miss, I understand. Mangjong took the silver with both hands. For the first time, she felt that she had been entrusted with an important task. It was a really good feeling, and she felt a sense of accomplishment. Later, Soo-won took out another drawing and gave it to Da-shu and Xiao-shu. You two brothers have things to do too. You can understand the blueprint, right? This is called a distiller. I've asked a carpenter to make 4 of them. They'll be delivered soon. You guys should think about it carefully. In a few days, a large batch of flowers will be delivered. They'll need to be cleaned. You guys should take care of each other. You're the only 2 men in the workshop. If you can do some heavy work, do it yourself. If you can't do it together, I'll come over and work with you when the time comes. Yes, miss, I will think about it carefully. Okay, you guys get familiar with the environment here first. Here are the keys to the workshop. There are 3 keys in total, 1 for you, 1 for me, and 1 for my uncle. Don't lose them. After Soo-won finished arranging them, he had to go back to take care of other things. There were still a lot of things to do at home, and he had to go to the farm early tomorrow morning to order flowers. Still have a few bottles of camellia due left. I will first make a batch of hair soap and send it to Madame Sietacel, and then keep some for Qinghe County. 2 bottles of camellia hydrosol can make about 100 bars of hair soap. Hair soap doesn't need to be made too big, unlike ordinary goat milk soap, which is used every day and is sold at such a high price, so the essence lies in its concentration. After returning home, Soo-won started making soap. When he arrived in Xiangzhou, there was no wood ash, so he asked someone to go to the farmland outside the city to bring back a few carts of straw to make lye water. There is also goat milk. There is a huge farm outside the city that specializes in raising cattle and sheep. They can provide as much goat milk as you want every day. You can then ask them to deliver milk to the workshop on a long-term basis. In this way, all raw material supply problems will be solved. Making hair soap, she asked her uncle and aunt to come and watch her, to see how she precipitated the lye, and in what proportion she added almond oil and goat milk. How to boil the juice of Sapindus mucoracea and Ligustrum lucidum. All of these need to be added in according to a fixed ratio. My uncle took a pen and paper and wrote it down carefully, while my aunt and Yang Qingqing also learned quietly on the side. This hair soap contains goat milk, which adds another benefit and dilutes the color. Soo-won added a little peach blossom ground into powder to mix the color, and the final color was pink-brown. Use a round mold to pour the soap that has been mixed evenly but not yet solidified into the mold. Shake it gently twice to make it even, then dry it in the sun for a few days and wait for it to take shape. The sun is very warm in mid-April, and it only takes 3 days to dry the fruits before they can be removed from the film and packaged. I also worked hard to make 200 pieces of dyed goat milk soaps and 200 pieces of first-generation goat milk soaps as backup. Taking advantage of the days of drying, Soo-won went to order the goat milk and flowers. The distillation mold will take another 2 days to be delivered, so there is no need to rush at the workshop. She also ordered 20 wooden racks, with 4 layers on top and bottom, which can be used to dry the goat milk soap naturally. The top is sealed to prevent it from getting wet if it rains, and you don't have time to put it away. It doesn't matter if it takes a few more days, as long as it's not ruined. The house has been completely tidied up. Pots and pans, firewood, rice, oil, and salt have all been bought, and firewood has also been delivered, so we can officially start cooking. Soo-chin drove Soo-won out of the city early in the morning, while Soo-moo and Soo-yi went to Yueman West Tower. On the one hand, Soo-moo had already said goodbye to his family and was going to meet up with Mr. Sun to prepare for his study tour. Before this, Soo's mother asked Soo-moo to invite Mr. Sun to their home again so that he could get to know his family. On the one hand, 4th brother Soo-yun didn't know that their family had moved to Xiangzhou Prefecture, so he had to go and inform him. Yueman Shilo was also close to home, so if possible, he would move back and live with his family to make it more lively. Soo-yun is now in the Yueman West Tower. He has already learned how to carve and is now struggling with the tofu pudding, determined to cut out a complete piece of tofu pudding. Is busy, he will arrange for him to cook some simple dishes, and he can do them all. Flipping the wok or the pan is not a problem for him. Grandpa Sun Beidou and his grandson had been waiting for Su Mu in Yumengsi Tower for 6 days, and finally this guy came. He walked into the moonlit west building wearing a white robe. Sun Linger was drinking tea and listening to music on the first floor. Su Mu had a high ponytail, red lips, white teeth, sword-like eyebrows, and bright eyes. When he appeared in front of everyone, all the female guests in Yueman West building stared at him intently. Whether married or single, everyone is attracted by this beautiful color. Su Mu handled the funeral style perfectly. It was the first time that Sun Linger saw Su Mu like this. She couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. It was not until her eyes met Su Mu's that she blushed and quickly looked away. "Miss Sun, I've been waiting for a long time. Where is the teacher?" Before Sun Linger could react, Su Mu had already walked up to her. When he spoke in a cold voice, she didn't dare to look at him.
Ah.
"No, my grandpa is upstairs. I'll go call him." She walked away in a panic, picking up her skirt. "I'll go up with you." Su Mu didn't notice anything wrong and followed closely. "Then second brother, I'm going to look for fourth brother." Su Yi decided not to follow him. He decided to go look for his fourth brother. Su Mu nodded, and the two brothers went their separate ways. One went upstairs, and the other went to the kitchen.
수익을 숍게 루오.
The kitchen was still idle as the morning rush had just ended. Only Su Yun was working hard and arguing with Tofu. Moment Su Yi walked up to him. Su Yun raised his head, threw the kitchen knife on the table, and shouted, "I succeeded! I finally succeeded!" He successfully conquered Tofu, cut it into tofu shreds, and put the shreds into a basin of water. It looked like a lotus flower in the water, vivid and lifelike. Sui happened to see this historic scene and couldn't help but marvel in his heart. Fourth brother is really good. He actually succeeded. Suyun felt someone around him, and without thinking twice, he put his hands on the person's shoulders, shook him around, and kept muttering, "I did it, I did it." Sui felt completely baffled until Suyun recognized that the villain in front of him was actually his younger brother. "Hey, why are you here? Where's Suwon?" He let go of his hand, stretched his neck and looked around, but he couldn't see Suwon and couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. "Wanwan and my third brother went to a farm outside the city to order flowers. Mom asked me to pick you up and show you our new home."
수익 라이넷.
New home? What does that mean? Su-yun was puzzled. So Su-yi told him what Su-won had done in Xiangzhou recently. Not long after this time, he moved to Xiangzhou and set up a mansion, even buying a workshop and servants. It has to be Su-won. Only she has the courage to act decisively. It's only been a few days since we last met, and she has suddenly become a city dweller? Yes, Wanwan said that after this busy period is over, she will transfer her household registration to Xiangzhou, and then she will be a real city dweller. Once your household registration is transferred to Xiangzhou Prefecture, many things will become easier. That's perfect. I have saved up 5 days of vacation. I'll go back with you to have a look. Su-yin has been here for almost 2 months. He saves his monthly rest days and is reluctant to take them. He wants to save more so that he can go home and stay longer. Now his relationship is good and his home is nearby, so he can go back every day. To the chef, Su-yun changed his clothes and left with Su-yi, waiting for Su-mu downstairs. Su-mu explained the situation to Mr. Sun, and when he heard that the place wasn't far away, he agreed to go over again as a visit. The main reason was that he had heard that the house was called Furong Cottage, such an elegant name, and he was a little curious about what was going on inside. Another thing, he also wants to eat braised pork, hee. Going downstairs, Mr. Sun specifically told his apprentice, "My dear disciple, I still want to eat that braised pork." Su-mu thought the master was so cute and couldn't help but smile. "If master likes it, please ask Wanwan to get us a can of soy sauce to take away. When you want to eat it, I will make it for you." That's a good feeling. I won't be polite to you. He is very old and has a bad stutter. If he finally finds something he likes, he won't be polite. Besides, he is my own disciple. Why should I be afraid of trouble and be impatient? "Miss Sun, is there anything you want to eat?" Su-mu did not forget to turn around and ask Sunlinger. "I also want to eat that fried chicken with peppers. Can you put more peppers in it?" Sunlinger loves spicy food. that's for sure.
Of course you can.
Let's take some chili powder with us, so we can have it anytime. We grow a lot of chili peppers in our hometown, so we have enough to eat. Su-mu would always respond to any request, as long as it was within his ability. Su-yun and the others were waiting downstairs. They waved and greeted them. When they saw Sun Beidou and Sun Linger, they turned around and asked who Su-yi was. This is the great Dr. Sun Beidou and his granddaughter. He accepted my second brother as his last disciple and wants to teach him medical skills and take him traveling.
Suyi Planet.
Su-yun was familiar with the name Sun Beidou. Jiang Yu had mentioned him once before, and he was deeply impressed. Recently, he stayed at Umengsala, which also caused a sensation. I heard that many dignitaries in the city came to seek medical treatment, but were all rejected. It was not a difficult or complicated disease, and the doctors were too lazy to treat them and thought it was a waste of time. He had heard his famous name every day these days and had become familiar with it. So, when he heard the news, he couldn't help but cover his mouth in surprise. Oh my God, being Sun Beidou's apprentice is so amazing. Well, maybe our second brother can become a miracle doctor in the future. Su-yi has great confidence in his second brother's ability and believes that he'll have good luck in the future. As soon as Su-mu came down, he introduced his fourth brother to Sun Beidou and told him that the method of cooking braised pork was his idea and that the soy sauce was also made by him. Junior, nice to meet Divine Dr. Sun. Su-yun excitedly stepped forward to greet him and bowed politely. It's rare to see Su-yun so serious and solemn. It's not easy. Good boy, the young men in your family are amazing. Sun Beidou exclaimed sincerely. Being praised, Su-yun scratched his head embarrassedly. Without wasting any time, everyone left Umanshi Lu and went to the Su family. Su's mother was already preparing at home, waiting to welcome Dr. Sun and his companions. Su-won ordered 2 trucks of lilies, 2 trucks of peonies, 2 trucks of peonies, 2 trucks of crab apples, and 1 truck of rhododendrons. Rhododendron is bright red in color and has a light fragrance, but it is just right for dyeing. The rest are brought back to the workshop and distilled into floral dew for use. This floral dew can be made into thousands of bars of soap. The flowers were not very expensive. A cartload of flowers was only 5 taels of silver. I bought 9 cartloads of flowers, for a total of 45 taels. Goat milk is delivered once every 10 days, 10 jars each time, which is enough. When she finished all these and went back, it was just in time for lunch, but she didn't expect that Dr. Sun and others were also there. Fourth brother is back too, and he is in charge of cooking today. Su-won greeted Mr. Sun and others and came to the kitchen to help. When Su-yun saw her come back, he wiped the sweat from his forehead caused by the heat. You're back. You look great today. He started praising people as soon as they met, which made Su-won feel embarrassed. What she wore today was the red and white chest-length skirt that she bought last time. It made her skin look even whiter, and with some lip balm, she looked even more playful and lively. I haven't seen you for a few days. How come fourth brother is so talkative now? This guy is always complaining about everything, but he speaks out of turn but acts honestly. He seems to be in a good mood today. I like to tell the truth. If something is pretty, it is pretty. If it is not pretty, I will not compliment you on it. Su-yun was cooking while standing in the smoke. His expression could not be seen clearly, but his tone was very firm. This is the truth, not pretentious. If you need me to do anything else, I'll help you. Su-won rolled up his sleeves. You don't have to do it. You are wearing such a beautiful dress today. Don't get your skirt dirty. Just sit in front of the stove and watch the fire. Let's chat. The kitchen matters by himself. There is no need for Su-won to do anything. Su-won was also happy to have some free time, so he went to help light the fire. Looking at the fire in the kitchen, she suddenly remembered the first time Jiang Yu lit a fire. He filled the kitchen so full that it was airtight. It was funny to think about it, and she actually laughed out loud. Why are you standing there smiling foolishly? Su-yun saw her smiling foolishly. No, I just thought of Jiang Yu lighting the fire. Fourth brother, do you remember? When we were making shikima, he filled the stove up. How stupid. Soo-won seemed to have hit the funny spot and laughed nonstop, but Soo-yun couldn't find the funny point at all. So he curled his lips. He actually wanted to complain, but Jong-yu was a very loyal person and it was not very kind of him to say bad things about him behind his back. You're the only one who thinks it's fun. It's only been a short while since we've been together, but you can't keep your heart away anymore. His words were sarcastic. Fourth brother, what are you talking about?
Soo-won felt inexplicably guilty.
Don't you know what I said? Okay, men should get married when they are old enough and women should get married when they are old enough. It's nothing. Soo-yun shrugged and said indifferently. Although she felt uncomfortable in her heart, at least Jong-yu seemed reliable. It was much better than accepting a brother-in-law who she knew nothing about. Who said I'm going to marry him? I'm only a little old now. Why are you in such a hurry? I haven't stayed at home long enough. Soo-won still doesn't understand her own heart. She does have a crush on Jong-yu, but he is the second male lead, the main character. If she covets him, will it ruin the plot? If you don't want to get married, we'll stay at home for the rest of our lives. It'll be hard for you now, but in the future your brothers will support you and find you a son-in-law. Let's see who dares to bully you. Soo-yun knew that they were not capable enough to let Soo-won retire early, but he believed that in the future, they would be able to ensure that Soo-won would live a life without worries. Soo-won was laughing and suddenly felt like crying. Fourth brother, don't be so sentimental. It doesn't suit your temperament.
Hey.
You don't even want to hear something nice from me, and you're still trying to kill me. Okay, I won't do that anymore in the future. Soo-yun was helpless. A woman's heart is as unpredictable as a needle in the sea. If you don't say nice things to her, but she still has opinions if you say something nice to her. She's really hard to please. Oh, I was just kidding, but you took it seriously. I love to hear it, Soo-won quickly explained coquettishly, but Soo-yun couldn't stand her like this. Oh my, you're still being coquettish. He imitated Soo-won's coquettish tone, but his expression was full of doting. The brother and sister had a lot of fun in the kitchen. After a while, Soo-yun suddenly sighed and said, You are really amazing. You have brought your family to live a good life so quickly. If you hadn't come back, when would we have been able to live in such a big house? He came back. He saw such a large yard, which was tidied so beautifully. His room was even bigger and more luxurious than the one in the countryside, and the furniture was all made of carved mahogany. How magnificent! If it were up to the 5 brothers, how long would it take them to earn this fortune by working hard on their own?
How long can it last?
Just a few years at most. In the original novel, after the eldest brother became a 5th-rank official in the capital, the emperor granted him a house, and the family moved to Kyoto. The eldest brother took 2 years, and the 3rd brother was on the battlefield for nearly 3 years. After he came back, he became a famous general and was awarded the 4th-rank General Pingwei. It only took the 2nd brother a few years to become famous. The 4th brother's restaurant was a hit right from the start, got on track in a year, and moved to Kyoto in 2 years. The 5th brother became famous a little later. He gradually showed his talent after his brothers had already achieved success. In fact, without her, it wouldn't take long for them to be able to live such a good life. And she simply relies on modern technology and the golden finger of the original work. Sun Beidou and Sun Linger had another meal at home, and they all had a great time talking to each other. Soo-won prepared a small jar of soy sauce and a few pounds of chili powder for them to take away, because Mr. Sun liked braised pork and Sun Linger liked chili. In the afternoon, they harnessed their carriage and left the city. They had no idea where they were going, so they just went wherever they could and stayed wherever there were any difficult or complicated problems. The Soo family sent them out of the city, and Soo's mother's eyes were red. A mother worries when her son is away from home. Everything was ready. Soo-won took his family to the workshop the next day. The flowers had been delivered early in the morning and had to be quickly washed and then distilled. The distillation tools have been delivered, as well as the large porcelain jar for storing the floral dew. Wash them, seal them tightly, and make them all into soap. Soap can be stored for a long as it is kept in a cool environment and away from direct sunlight. Mangjong and the other 5 people had cleaned the workshop thoroughly. The floor was wet, probably because it had just been washed. The vats, wooden racks, and distillation barrels that were delivered were all washed several times, and Suwon was very satisfied. Everyone in the family came to the workshop, and Suwon introduced Mangjeong and the other 5 to them one by one. After everyone got to know each other, Suwon began to lead them to work. First, all the flowers that were sent were picked and washed. His uncles and others knew the distillation process, so he followed Suwon to do other things, while his 4th and 5th brothers took care of the distillation. So the cleaning of the flower buds was done by Guyu and his 2 companions, as well as Yang Qingqing and her aunt. Suwon wanted to boil the juice of soapberry, so she took her uncle, Dashu and Xiaoshu with her to teach them how to boil soapberry. Can be made directly from floral dew, mixed with perfume, goat milk, and almond oil. Hair soap is relatively complicated, not as simple as the other ones, but everyone learns it very seriously and makes it seriously. Su's mother was responsible for cooking, and Su Chun did whatever was available. He was like a brick and could be moved wherever he was needed. There are no flowers suitable for infusion in this season. After a while, when jasmine, roselle, and golden-edged rose bloom, they can be used to make infused oil. After a few days of hard work, I almost learned it. Making soap is not a particularly difficult thing, as long as you pay attention to the proportions. There were hundreds of soap molds made, square, round, petal-shaped, and with stamps representing various flowers. It was a mess altogether, and it was very cluttered. In 3 days, all the flowers had been distilled into floral dew, the fragrance of which was so fragrant that it attracted bees and butterflies to the yard. Each type of flower received 2 jars of floral dew, and the rhododendrons were also placed in the yard to dry, and then ground into powder after drying. When it comes to plant dyeing, only red is suitable. Green looks weird and poisonous. 5 days, we have made 1,000 undyed goat milk soaps, 1,000 dyed goat milk soaps, 1,000 floral goat milk soaps, and 500 hair soaps. There are 4 scents in total, and the floral water and soapberry scent are not used up yet, but the oil is used up. I have to go to the street to buy almond oil and use it first, as the delivery time to the He family has not yet arrived. The yard is filled with goat milk soap and scented soap, and the fragrance spreads across the yard for miles. The 100 pieces of hair soap and goat milk soap that were made earlier are now ready for packaging and shipment. Suwon plans to go and see how the business at Jade Face Peach Blossom is going. If the sales are good, she will restock their stock immediately. Suwon went to Jade Face Peach Blossom that day. It was noon, and there were not many customers. Madame Xia was waiting for the servants to bring her food. Suwon stepped into the store and saw that the counter where the goat milk soap was placed was empty. Madame Xia also noticed Suwon and hurriedly came out from the counter to greet him. "Miss Su, you are here. Come in and have some tea. If you hadn't come to find me, I would have sent someone to look for you." Looking at this attitude, Suwon could guess that Madame Xia had fully seen the value of goat milk soap. Suwon followed her into the inner room, which was the same tea room as last time. Madame Xia personally made tea for her, and this time, she changed to pu'er. "I just got some pu'er, this year's new tea." It can be seen that Madame Xia is a tea lover. Jean State is a country of fine tea, and its people all love to drink tea. To be honest, Suwon wants to study the tea ceremony so as to cultivate his sentiments. When his business is established in the future, he will also want to know a little about the tea ceremony so as to entertain guests. My wife is a refined person. I know very little about tea and can only taste its strength. I was just like you at first. I only knew what kind of tea was strong and what kind of tea was weak, but I didn't understand what aftertaste was. Later, I fell in love with tea, drank more, and understood more. Madame Xia's face was all smiles, much more enthusiastic than last time. My wife just said that she would send someone to look for me. Is there something wrong? Suwon turned the topic back to business. It's like this. Your goat milk soap is so popular that it's sold out within a few days of being put on the shelves. It's even more popular than my rouge. The few hundred yuan you put in is not enough to sell it all. Shangzhou is so big and has such a large population. I'm afraid you'll have to supply me more goods. Madame Xia's door was almost trampled down these days. Those who bought the soap spread the word by word of mouth, and new customers immediately came to buy it. But it was first come, first served, and if you came late, you would have it sold out, so you had to make a reservation. She couldn't leave, otherwise she would have sent someone to look for Soo-won. That's perfect. I have 500 new pieces here. I'll send them all to you. However, this time 100 pieces are hair soaps. The price will be higher. They are goat milk hair soaps with camellia scent. Soo-won took the opportunity to say this. How much do you want to sell it for? Madame Xie thought that good goods would be easy to sell, so it didn't matter if the price was a little higher. How about 1 tael of silver per piece? How about you take the interest of 10 cents per piece? Soo-won is going to raise the price of hair soap. This is a high-end product, specially tailor-made for wealthy people. In Xiangzhou Prefecture, no one is particularly poor, so the price will definitely go up. It will be the same in other places in the future. Not only goat milk soap will increase in price, but other soaps will also increase in price. You have the final say on your stuff, so I'll help you promote it. By taking advantage of you, I can also help sell my rouge. Come to buy soap, they will also take a look at her rouge, which will increase sales. Of course, Madame Xie was extremely willing. Okay, the other 2 models will also increase in price, 5 cents apiece. You'll get 4 cents for the white one and 5 cents for the dyed one. We're just trying to open up the market, so we're selling them cheaply in the early stages.
Just explain that to them.
Her products are very popular, and she is not allowed to raise the price? Soo-won is not a stubborn person. She will consider opening her own shop after she has opened up the entire market in Xiangzhou and even expanded it to the neighboring Yenzhou and has enough money in her hands. After all, it is very costly to open a shop in Xiangzhou. The storefront alone costs several hundred taels. The provincial capital is different from Qinghe County, and prices are high. This time she opened a mansion, set up a workshop, hired people, and looked for suppliers of raw materials. All in all, almost 3,000 taels were gone. Okay, I'll do as you say. I'll pay you the 28 taels of silver from last time. When can your goods be delivered? Madame Xie couldn't wait any longer. It will be delivered in the afternoon. So soon? Aren't you in the countryside? Mrs. Xie asked with some confusion. It's like this. I've moved to Xiangzhou for the convenience of doing business. Is that so? That's great. It will be much easier for me to find you in the future. Madame Xie thought that every time she went to the province to look for someone, she had to go to Qinghe to look for someone, which was indeed a bit far. Soo-won told her the address of her new residence and asked her to come to Farong Cottage if she had any problems in the future. After receiving the final payment of 28 taels, Soo-won immediately arranged for the shipment when he returned. If Soo-chin were to bring the 2 brothers Da-shu and Xiao-shu along, she would not come along. This time, the price of goat milk soap has increased. 500 yuan cost 162 taels. This is mainly because she sells the hair soap at a high price. Soo-chun directly brought a silver note of 100 taels and a silver note of 50 taels, and the rest was small change. Soo-won set up a study room at home, which also served as a warehouse. From then on, she had to do every account personally, and all income and expenditure had to go through her hands. All the grain and oil stores in Xiangzhou collected 1,000 kilograms of almond oil. 8 cents per kilogram was equivalent to 80 taels of silver, enough to make tens of thousands of soaps. We also have to hurry up and ask the farm to send flowers over. We have to keep making flour dough and soap, and we have to keep stock in the warehouse. After the first batch of soaps made in the workshop were successfully dried, Soo-won packed up 200 pieces of ordinary goat milk soaps, 200 pieces of dyed soaps, 100 pieces of floral goat milk soaps, and 100 pieces of hair soaps and sent them back to Qinghe to sell. The 100 pieces of goat milk soap, and consumers can choose by themselves. The price of this kind of floral soap has risen to 50 cents per piece, and it is mainly used for bathing. Soo-won had to ask his third brother to drive him to Qingyuan and Qingchuan counties to open up sales channels, so Qinghe let his uncle go. But there was only one carriage at home, so they had to buy 2 horses to use specifically for transporting goods. That day, Soo-won followed Soo-chun to the market to buy a horse. There is a large trading market in Xiangzhou Prefecture, also called the Black Market, which specializes in trading some strange and weird things. Horses are military objects, and ordinary people are not allowed to raise them in large numbers. Keeping more than 500 horses at home is considered treason. No one in Xiangzhou Prefecture dared to openly open a horse farm, so if you wanted to buy a horse, you could only go to the black market. It was Suwon's first time to come to such a place. There was a mixed crowd of all kinds of people here. Suchen knew that his sister had a flamboyant appearance, so he asked her to disguise herself before bringing her to the black market. Suwon was not wearing men's clothes, but a bamboo hat and a veil covering her face. With her small body, it would be difficult for her to dress up as a man, and she would be easily discovered. So forget it and just cover her face. The black market was really lively, and the items sold were diverse. The third brother took her to the place where horses were sold with ease. Today the horse dealer brought 5 horses to sell on the black market, but he hasn't opened yet. Seeing Suchen coming towards him, the horse dealer immediately greeted him with a smile. "Brother, do you want to see the horses? I have good horses here, young and strong." Suchen nodded, then walked up to several horses and looked at them one by one. "My master said that when looking at a horse, the first thing to look at is the skeleton, the second is the hooves, and the third is the mane. If the skeleton is big, the horse is strong and sturdy. If the hooves are big, the horse is patient. If the mane is thick, the horse is strong and difficult to tame. For horses that pull carriages, they don't have to fight on the battlefield, so they just need to meet the first 2 conditions and don't need to be strong and difficult to tame. On weekdays, horses have to deal with people often, so they must have a gentle temperament. Especially Wanwan. She is so small. What if she accidentally makes the horse unhappy and gets hurt?" Suwon's face was hidden under the veil, and her expression could not be seen clearly, but she had no idea what her third brother was thinking at the moment. She couldn't help either, as she didn't know anything and could only watch from the side. Suchen quickly picked out 2 horses and asked the horse dealer about the price. "Just these 2 horses. How much is the silver?" "Brother, you have good taste. You are an expert. You have chosen the 2 strongest and most docile horses. Take them away for 50 taels. They are both raised with pure grain in our family. They are the best for pulling carts and running." The horse dealer made a 5 gesture. To be honest, the horse was a little expensive, but Suchen was indeed satisfied. "Can it be a little less?" Suchen tried to bargain. "Brother, let's not bargain. You are an expert and you know that this is a good horse and worth the price." He must be completely sure to call out so high. Suchen had no choice but to turn around and look at Suwon to see what she thought. Suwon nodded slightly and took out a 50 liang silver note and gave it to him. "Later I would have to spend money to hire 2 carts specifically for transporting goods, so there would be no need for a sedan chair. If you are worried about bad weather, just lay down a few layers of tarpaulin to prevent water leakage." Suchen gave the silver note to the horse dealer, who happily put it in his arms, then untied the rope and handed it to Suchen. Suchen went up to stroke their manes one by one, trying to get along well with them, and then untied a small bag from his waist, which contained horse food that he had brought specially. Suwon saw him pouring food into his hands to feed the horse, and thought it was very interesting, and wanted to try it himself. "Third brother, can I try it?"
Suwon asked.
Hearing this, Suchen couldn't bear to reject her, so he called her over. "Okay, come here." Suwon came over happily, then spread out her hands and let Suchen pour food for her. The food had just been poured into her palm, and before it reached the horses' mouths, one of them came up to eat it and snorted. Suwon was a little scared and trembled. Seeing this, Suchen gently comforted him. "Don't be afraid. With Brother San here, they are very docile." Suwon nodded and continued feeding bravely. In fact, deep down she is also a little girl who has just graduated from college. She is still curious about many things and has a girlish heart. After feeding the horse dealer's hands were stained with the horse's saliva. Seeing this, he took out his water bottle. "Miss, wash your hands with my water." "How can that be? If I use it, you won't have anything to drink?" Suwon felt embarrassed to use the water in the kettle. "It's okay. It's almost noon. I'll go home for dinner later." "Use it." "You're welcome." The horse dealer was also kind-hearted, so Su-won didn't hesitate to thank him. Washing his hands, Su-won casually shook off the water in his hands and stretched out an arm. Su-won looked up in confusion. It was his third brother. He just smiled and said, "Wipe this," from her brother, and then wiped her hands unceremoniously with her third brother's sleeves. Afterwards, the two siblings led the horses and prepared to leave the black market. But after they had taken a few steps, a riot broke out on the street. In the crowd, a ragged girl ran towards them barefoot, looking back as she ran. There were a few strong men chasing her from behind. "Stop, you little witch! I'll beat you to death if I catch you." The girl heard the sound. She was frightened and twisted her ankle and fell to the ground, just in front of Su-won and Su-chin. The two siblings were too impatient to react. The girl had already touched Su-chin's toes with her hands and looked at him with tears in her eyes, begging, "Please, save me." Su-chin frowned, at a loss as to what to do. Su-won knew that he was inconvenienced, so he bent down to help her. The girl's clothes were so dirty that the color could not be seen clearly. But she didn't dislike it. They were all women, so what was there to dislike? Her face was also dirty and her features could not be seen clearly, but she had a pair of amber eyes, which were very distinctive. The girl's feet were all covered with wounds. She had just sprained her ankle. She tried hard to get up, but she couldn't. Those strong men had already caught up, rolled up their sleeves, and cursed. "You witches, run away. You two better stay out of other people's business." They looked at Su-won and Su-chin fiercely. Seeing that the girl had no strength, Su-chin could only help her. He pulled her arm with one hand and lifted her up to stand. When the girl saw the burly men, she subconsciously hid behind Su-won and grabbed her sleeves tightly. "Does she owe you money? Or does she have a grudge against you? Is it necessary to force a weak woman into this state?" Su-won was not afraid, but questioned instead. "What's it got to do with you? We bought this woman, so you'd better not meddle in other people's business. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude and beating you up too." The sturdy man who led the group stared at Su-won with a bad look on his face.
Su-chin fronedan happily.
There were already many people around watching and pointing. "You have no respect for the law and are trafficking in human beings in broad daylight. Do you believe I will send you to jail?" In Jean State, private human trafficking is not allowed, unless the person is a servant and the indenture belongs to you. If he commits a serious crime, you have the right to execute him directly, but if he is sold, he must be sent back to the pawnbroker for processing. Who made mistakes were sent back to the pawnbroker for punishment, sold to brothels, or even made to do menial work or pick up nightshades, depending on the severity of the punishment. Anyway, no transactions or sales can be conducted privately. We bought her, and we have the final say on how to deal with her. How is this illegal? The leader said confidently. "I am not a servant. They want to sell me to a brothel."
"Please save me."
The girl cried and shouted behind Su-won. "Shut up, you witch," the leader shouted angrily, and the girl trembled in fear. "Why are you so fierce?" She said she is not a servant, not a servant. Since you bought her, do you have her indenture certificate? If not, then it is illegal human trafficking and a violation of the law. Su-won could be sure that what the girl said was true, because she found that although the girl had scars all over her body, her intact skin was very delicate and tender. She looked spoiled, and the clothes she was wearing were made of good material. Although she didn't know much, she knew enough to tell good from bad. How could she be a servant? "That's right, show me the indenture." The people watching around have started to make a noise. Several strong men clenched their fists and looked at Su-won with gritted teeth, trying their best to be patient and not to cause trouble. "How can you carry the indenture with you at all times? Why don't you follow me back to take a look? These people have already had evil intentions." "I'll go with you." Su-chin wanted to see what tricks they were up to. "That won't work. What if your people run away with my people? Let's go together." The leader saw that Su-won was also a woman. She sounded young and was wearing a veil. She was either extremely beautiful or extremely ugly, so he might as well take a chance. How could the three of them, tall and strong, not be able to do anything to two women and an unarmed young man? Su-chin was really worried about Su-won, So after hesitating for a moment, he simply said, "Is it okay for me to take this girl with me?" He couldn't risk his sister's safety, but he also couldn't watch the girl fall into the devil's den. Suwon knew the strength of his third brother, so it was not a problem for him to deal with these minions. A few human traffickers, so let's just keep that witch for now. It's better than having no one at all. Okay, then come with us. Seeing him compromise, Su-chin breathed a sigh of relief. That would be easy. However, the girl hiding behind Su-won was still very scared. She didn't dare to bet her future on a stranger. In the face of life and death, forgive her for having her own selfish desires. Su-won saw her anxiety, so he leaned over to her ear and whispered, "My brother is an expert. He will have no problem protecting you. Just go with confidence." The girl looked at her doubtfully, and Su-won gave her an affirmative look and smile. The only option now is to take a gamble. The girl closed her eyes and limped behind Su-chin. "Won-won, just wait for me here in the crowded place. I'll be back soon." Before leaving, Su-chin reminded Su-won with concern. "I understand. Be careful, third brother." Su-won waved at him, and when they walked away and turned into an alley, the crowd around them gradually dispersed. I looked around and saw a bundle of ropes on a stall not far away. Su-won walked over, and his shadow blocked part of the sunlight. The vendor looked up and saw the girl in the bamboo hat asking, "Boss, do you want to sell the rope?" Su-chin followed those people into the depths of the alley. Suddenly, several people stopped, began to stretch their muscles, and were ready to teach Su-chin a lesson. "Boy, you dare to follow us alone? Today I will teach you a lesson about the law, and let you know that it is right to mind your own business in the future." The leader approached step by step with a wicked smile. However, Su-chin was not flustered. He just stood there with an expressionless face. The girl was hiding behind Su-chin. Seeing this, she bravely stood up and stood in front of Su-chin. "It has nothing to do with him. I will go back with you. I will accept the beatings and punishments. Please don't implicate innocent people." "Oh, now you know not to involve innocent people? When you were running away and asking for help, why didn't you think about not involving innocent people? Get out of the way. I want to teach him a lesson." The leader pulled the girl away and wanted to throw her to the ground, but the next second, Su-chin had already grabbed his wrist and exerted force, and a sound of bone breaking was heard. The strong man who was leading the group let out a terrible cry. Su-chin used his other hand to pull the girl behind him, then raised his foot and kicked the nearest strong man. With this kick, a 1.8-meter tall man was kicked several meters away. The remaining two are naturally a piece of cake. Su-chin beat them so hard that they couldn't even get up from the ground. But he did it so easily, without even taking a breath, and the girl was stunned. Su-chin was preparing to send these human traffickers to the government for punishment. Just when he was worried about what to tie them up with, Su-won arrived. She hung a rope on her side and walked into the alley with difficulty, leading the two uncooperative horses. "Brother San, give me a rope." Su-chin saw this scene when he turned around and was almost killed by the cuteness of his sister. What a tacit understanding. Su-won understands him. So Su-chin tied up the hands of several strong men, strung them together, and prepared to send them to the government. The girl was still standing there stupidly. "Young lady, please come with me to the government office, testify against them, and seek justice for you." Su-chin said this to her, and the girl's eyes instantly filled with tears. She nodded vigorously. She met a good person today. Together, the three of them sent the human traffickers to the government office and handed them over to the yamen runners. There are 3 officials in a state, namely the highest-ranking governor, followed by the chief secretary, and finally the prefect, who are specifically responsible for redressing grievances and settling cases for the people. When the prefect came out of the court, the strong men confessed their crimes truthfully. The girl's name was Mimi. She said she came from the border and was brought here by these people to be sold. In the end, these human traffickers were each beaten with 20 sticks and then sent to prison. According to the law, Su-chin was rewarded with 20 taels of silver by the government for his meritorious service. But as for Miss Mimi, the government office didn't care where she went. She just gained her freedom. Su-won was waiting outside, sitting on the steps with his chin propped up and dozing off out of boredom with the two horses. After waiting for a long time for Suchin to come out, Suwon finally woke up. Third brother, are you done? Well, each of them was beaten with 20 sticks and then sent to prison.
Suchin smiled proudly.
Mimi followed Suchin all the time limping. Thank you, young master and young lady, for your help. Mimi is grateful. She knelt down and kowtowed to Suchin and Suwon. Suwon hurried to help her. You're welcome.
Go home now.
Mimi stood up with an indescribable expression. The brother and sister looked at each other, and Suchin was the first to react. You don't have any money, right? Here are 20 taels for you. Take it and go home. Suchin gave the 20 taels of silver he had received as a reward to Mimi. No, my home is very far away, Mimi bit her lip and said in a low voice. Where are you from?
Suwon asked.
I'm not from Jin country. I'm from the Wuya tribe. I was lured out of the country and then brought here. Mimi explained, her voice getting lower and lower. Wuya tribe? That's farther from the border. No wonder you said you were from the border.
Suchin suddenly realized.
He heard that the Wuya tribe had repeatedly violated the border of Jin state in the past 2 years, and the two sides were in dire straits. If she told the prefect truthfully that she was from the Wuya tribe, she would probably be treated as a spy. Yes, I dare not say it. Mimi looked at the two of them aggrievedly. Then why did you tell us? Suchin asked again. After all, she is an outsider woman, so he should be wary of her. Because you are good people, I only dare to trust you. Mimi replied. When they saw that she was in trouble, they did not stand idly by, but helped her and were willing to generously donate money to her. How bad can such a person be? What about you? Are you a good person? Suchin asked again. I can't guarantee that I am an absolutely good person because in the face of disaster, I would also want to live selfishly, but I can guarantee that I will not be a bad person, and I will not do anything bad. Mimi said with a firm look and tone. The brother and sister looked at each other, and Suwon pulled Suchin aside and whispered. Brother, do you think what she said is credible? I'm not sure, Suchin said embarrassedly. Her home is so far away. Look at all the injuries on her body. Can she make it back home by herself? What if she gets cheated on the way? Besides, if she was a spy, how could she be so successful? We are not an important official family, so she can't do anything to us. Suwon had a hunch that this young lady was not a bad person. You mean, take her in for a few days? This is how Suchin understood it. What I mean is, let's send her to the clinic first and change her into clean clothes. I remember there are caravans and escort agencies in Xiangzhou that go to the border for business. We can ask them to take her to the border. After we get to the border, it will be easy for her to go home by herself, right? Suwon didn't want to keep her at home, but this was the best thing she could do. This girl is from the Wuya tribe. If she plays an important role, having more friends will provide her with more options in the future. Just like she said just now, the girl's clothes are made of fine material and her skin is very delicate. She should not be a child from an ordinary family. Outside the border, there are either grasslands or deserts, and the environment is harsh. Yet she can still be so beautiful. She must not be from an ordinary family.
Suchin nodded.
Since he had become a good person, he should be a good person to the end and consider it as accumulating virtue. Okay, let's do as you say and use the money. Suchin weighed the purse in his hand. It was just 20 taels of silver he had just earned. It didn't take him much effort anyway. So the brother and sister turned back, and Suwon said to her, Come on, girl, I'll take you to find a place to stay. Mimi hesitated for a moment, but still followed. She only dared to trust this brother and sister now. Mimi and Suwon are about the same height, so Suwon bought her some clean clothes and a pair of shoes. Then he took her to a very ordinary inn and booked a room for a few days, which cost a little over 1 or 2 taels of silver per night. There was a family clinic across the street. Let Mimi take a bath and change into clean clothes first, then take her to the clinic. The brother and sister were waiting downstairs. When Mimi went upstairs, she asked Suwon if she could wear the gauze scarf and hat. Since Suwon was already out of the black market, it didn't matter to her whether she wore it or not, so she just gave it to her. After waiting for half an hour, Mimi finally came down from washing. She was wearing Su Wan's bamboo hat and limping. The food had already been ordered on the table. It just so happened that the brother and sister had been busy all day and had not eaten yet, so they were hungry. Come on, sit down and eat first. Su Wan pushed a bowl of rice towards her. Mimi's face was hidden under the veil and could not be seen clearly.
She hadn't had a full meal in a long time.
Looking at the delicious food on the table, she swallowed her saliva, and the aroma kept coming into her nose. Mimi stopped being pretentious. After sitting down, she pinned the veil in front of her to both sides, revealing her face. Before, she looked miserable and her face was so dirty that one couldn't even see her appearance. Now that she was clean, Su Wan was stunned when he looked at her again. Unconsciously exclaimed, "Wow, you are so beautiful." Mimi's beauty is that kind of exotic beauty, just like the modern Xinjiang beauties, with red lips and white teeth, and her eyes are full of natural charm when she raises her eyes. She is so beautiful, no wonder she was deceived and sold in Jean's state. Those people did not insult her, nor did they have the heart to hit her face. Her face was so beautiful and representative that she could be seen as an outsider at first glance, so she and Su Wan had to wear a hat and a scarf. Mimi felt embarrassed by Su Wan's praise and said with a red face, You are also very beautiful." She was telling the truth. This was the first time she had seen such a beautiful Jingua girl since she met Jingua Xiao. It is said that the women of Jin's state are graceful, dependent like little birds, and gentle like water. It is true that she is as cute as a little bird. It is said that the feng shui of Jin country is good for health. Look at her skin, it is so good and so fair, it is true. When Su Qin saw her face, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment, but he quickly looked away. Was stunned for a moment and tried to cover it up by drinking water, because it was the first time he saw a foreign woman, and such a look was really eye-catching. A completely different beauty from the women of Jin's state. You must be hungry.
Come eat.
Su Wan likes to hang out with beautiful sisters. His mood will become better when he sees beautiful sisters. She picked up some food for her and Mimi took the bowl and started eating quickly. However, considering Su Wan and Su Qin were there, she didn't stuff herself too roughly, but her movements were rather hurried, which showed that she was very hungry. After the meal, the three of them got to know each other. Mimi was indeed older than Su Wan. She was already 14 years old and would soon be 15. Only turned 14 next month. After eating, Su Wan and Su Qin took her to the clinic across the street to see her doctor. She only had some superficial injuries, apart from a sprained ankle, nothing serious, and she was fine after applying some medicine. The old Chinese doctor helped her to straighten her ankle. There was a crackling sound at the bone, and Su Wan felt the pain just listening to the sound, but Mimi gritted her teeth and said nothing. The bone was broken back in place, but my ankle is still a little swollen. After leaving the clinic, Su Wan and Su Qin sent her back to the inn. Su Wan paid 10 taels of silver to the inn at one time and told her to order food from the inn when she was hungry. Mimi, just stay in the inn with peace of mind. My third brother will ask about the recent caravans going to the border for business, or the escort team. Then you can follow them to the border. This way, you don't have to worry about encountering danger on the road again. She is a weak woman, and she is so beautiful. If she goes back alone on such a long journey, something might happen to her. She didn't want to see a young girl in her prime fall into despair. Mimi nodded, took 2 steps back, and knelt down in front of the two of them, preparing to kowtow. Su Wan saw her intention and quickly stopped her. No. Get up quickly. Thank you. I will never forget your kindness. If there is any way I can repay you in the future, I will do it even if it means dying. Every word Mimi spoke was sincere. In fact, Su Wan had selfish motives in saving her and helping her. In the original novel, the third brother went to the battlefield, and the two armies fought fiercely. In the later period, in order to protect the commander-in-chief's retreat, the third brother was accidentally captured by the Huia tribe. At that time, the third brother's reputation was already well known on the battlefield. The leader of the Huia tribe wanted to recruit him and make him his general, so he was quite polite to him at first. But the third brother was stubborn and refused to betray his country, so he was severely tortured. At that time, the male protagonist and Jiang Yu were also ordered to go to the battlefield. They led a team deep into the enemy camp and rescued the third brother. The third brother was brought back. He was already dying. There was not a single piece of healthy skin on his body, but he managed to survive by relying on his perseverance. After he recovered, the enemy army, which was organized by various tribes, was already in an unstable morale due to its previous defeats and being ambushed by a group of people right under their noses. In the final battle, the third brother cut off the heads of 2 enemy tribal leaders, becoming a famous general and defeating the enemy. Also killed by Jiang Yu. Therefore, Su Wan wanted to take a gamble. If this Mimi was a member of the royal family of the Huia tribe, then if his third brother was in trouble in the future, she would probably help him. At least, it would be nice to let the third brother suffer less. Since she can be associated with the main characters, Mimi should not be a nameless character. In the original novel, the third brother did not come to Xiangzhou before going to the battlefield, so he did not encounter these things. But please believe that any encounter is an encounter. Su Wan and Su Chen spent a day outside, sending the horses to be harnessed to the cart. When they returned home, it was already dark. Su's mother was waiting at home, and the whole family was waiting for the brother and sister without even having dinner. The dishes were all heated up. When Su's mother saw the 2 of them coming back, she was the first to rush over and hit Su Chen on the shoulder twice. "You little brat, you took your sister to buy a horse, and you only came back now. Where did you go with your sister?" "I didn't go crazy. I just encountered some problems and was delayed for a while."
Su Chen felt aggravated.
When his mother wanted to hit him, he quickly dodged. Su Wan laughed unkindly and went forward to hug her mother's arm. "Mom, we didn't do anything bad. We were wrong this time. We won't do it again." Since Su Wan acted well, her mother couldn't bear to blame her. Okay, next time you don't have anything to do, don't come back so late. Let's eat." The family sat down to eat. Only the third and fifth brothers were at home, as the other brothers were not at home. Everyone picked up food for Su Wan, and soon her bowl was piled high like a small mountain. Su Chen was left to inquire about the caravan's affairs. Tomorrow morning, his uncle would have to take the soap to Qinghe County to deliver the goods. The total amount was 600 bars of soap and 207 taels of silver. After the price increase, the proprietress could make a net profit of more than 30 taels. You don't have to do anything, just take up some space and make money while lying down. It's so cool. That night, after Su Chen had his meal, he prepared to go out again. He went to the business to ask if there were any escorts going to the border recently. At night, Xiangzhou City is still very lively. He had just gone out of the door, but before he got out of the alley, a dark figure jumped down from the wall next to him. A pair of hands attacked from behind. Su Chen reacted immediately and turned around to fight with the Black Shadow. Dozens of moves, he caught the Black Shadow with his backhand. Just as he was about to use force, he heard him begging for mercy. No, Brother Su-san, I am Fengying." Hearing that it was Fengying, Su Chen let him go. Fengying was free and quickly moved his arms. If he had been more tough, this arm would have been broken. "Why are you here? And why are you trying to launch a sneak attack?" "The young master said that you are the disciple of Master Jiang Yunhe, so I wanted to test your martial arts skills. As a result, I overestimated my own abilities." Fengying curled her lips and complained, "He is worthy of being the disciple of Master Jiang Yunhe. I can't afford to offend him." "It's okay, you're pretty good." Su Chen was still humble. "Don't say that. I'm far inferior to you." These 2 people are still being humble. "Okay, what do you want to talk to me about?" Su Chen knew that Fengying came to him personally, so there must be something going on. "Nothing, I just came to ask if there is anything we can help you with. We are guarding Xiangzhou under the orders of the young master, and we are almost going moldy with idleness." Fengying felt that this was the first time he had received such an easy task after following the young master for so long. "Every day I see the Su family living a fulfilling life, but they are very idle. They have been living on the edge of a knife for too many days, so they are not used to the sudden stability." Su Chun heard this and thought about something that needed to be done right away. He was not familiar with Xiangzhou and did not know where to find the caravan. He might as well trouble Feng Ying. I really need your help right now. What's the matter? Feng Ying became excited. So, Su Chun told him about how he and Su Wan rescued a woman from outside. The two talked as they walked. You and Miss Su are such kind people. You saved people from danger and have noble character. After hearing this, Feng Ying started to flatter them. He thought to himself that the woman who made the young master miss her was indeed not an ordinary person and had a kind heart like a bodhisattva. We just happened to meet. I saved her because I thought that she was about the same age as my sister Wanwan. What would I do if my sister got into trouble and no one helped her? I just felt the same way. Su Chun really thought so at the time. Putting himself in Mimi's shoes, he realized that her situation was really difficult. Yeah, if I had a sister like this, I would spoil her to the sky. Feng Ying sighed. They are all desperate criminals, without parents or families. They can only survive in this world because the young master is willing to give them food to eat and give them human dignity. It just so happens that I know the boss of the Xiangzhou escort agency. They often go to the border to escort the convoy. Although this Miss Mimi is an outsider, the war between the two sides will not harm innocent people and weak women. They will send Miss Mimi to the border safely. Feng Ying has made many friends in the martial arts world and saved many righteous people during the years she followed Jiang Yu. Xiangzhou Escort Agency was able to gain a foothold in Xiangzhou thanks to the help of the young master, who helped him overcome difficulties. In that case, I'll trouble you, brother Feng Ying. Su Chun felt relieved after hearing this and clasped his fists towards Feng Ying. You're welcome, we're all brothers. Feng Ying patted his shoulder. It's still early, do you want to come to my place for a drink? Feng Ying invited. The Su family moved to Xiangzhou, so they also moved to Xiangzhou. Let's do it another day. I have to accompany Wanwan to Qingyuan County and Xingchuan for business tomorrow. It will probably take several days for me to come back. I'll tell you the inn where Miss Mimi is staying. If you have contacted her, just send her away directly. Drinking can cause delays in work, but Su Chun knows his limits and cannot let Wanwan down. Well, I'll send a few brothers to follow you. If anything happens, you won't be left alone and unable to take care of Miss Su. Feng Ying's first priority is to protect the Su family and Su Wan. It's okay. I'm enough. If you send someone over, Wanwan will be uncomfortable. I can handle it. Su Chun knew that Su Wan didn't like to trouble others, and he didn't like it either. It's good enough that Feng Ying can help. Why is he wasting other people's time and manpower? He thought that Feng Ying and the others must have other things to do in Xiangzhou, and were just looking after the Su family. He never thought that Feng Ying was left behind by Jiang Yu to protect them. I told them to follow you secretly, and not disturb Miss Su. Qingyuan is not peaceful, so it's better to be safe. Feng Ying knew that the local officials in Qingyuan were not taking care of things and things were a bit chaotic, so he was worried. If anything happens to Miss Su, the young master will definitely give her a hard time. But this is too much trouble for you. Su Chun felt sorry. It was not good for them to order others around like this. Your family saved the young master's life, and the young master has done us a favor. His favor is our favor, so your family's affairs are my affairs, and we have no choice but to do so. Moreover, our young master is still thinking about your daughter. Feng Ying's first few words were righteous, but the last sentence suddenly became quieter and unclear. What did you say? Su Chun didn't understand. Nothing? I'm talking about the last sentence. Su Chun really didn't hear it clearly. Brother Su, you heard me wrong. I didn't say anything. It's getting late. You should go back and rest. Don't you have things to do tomorrow? Leave Miss Mimi's matter to us, and we will take care of it for you. When you come back, I will come to have a drink with you. Feng Ying pushed Su Chun to the back and did not continue the topic. I almost said something wrong. If they knew the young master's little thoughts, his brothers would eat him. Although the young master had never personally expressed his interest in Miss Su, his actions were too abnormal. He said nothing, and yet he said everything. Su Chun was confused and always felt that Feng Ying was weird. He had only taken a few steps when the boy caught up with him again. Brother Su-san, wait, I have something else to ask you. Feng Ying almost forgot about the important matter. What's the matter? Su Chen asked puzzledly. Miss Su, is there anything you particularly want recently? Fengming asked directly. Why are you asking about this? Su Chen couldn't understand what was so good about it. Nothing, just asking around. Fengming was entrusted by the young master. But after thinking about it, Su Chen suddenly realized. You are you attracted to my sister? Su Chen pointed at him in disbelief. Fengming was struck by lightning and quickly covered Su Chen's mouth, saying that he had fallen in love with Miss Su. Was he trying to kill himself? No. How is that possible?
Don't talk nonsense.
Then why are you asking these questions? Do you want to give her something? Su Chen slapped his hand away and said relentlessly. It's not me. It's really not me. Just tell me. Fengming was so anxious. How could he dare to snatch the person from a young master? Isn't he looking for death? Su Chen crossed his arms and looked him up and down to make sure he was not lying. I'm telling you, my sister is still young. Don't think too much about it. She only likes money. Su Wan's mind and eyes are filled with only thoughts about making money. If this isn't his love for money, then what is that? Fengming realized that Miss Su liked money, so he could do the job. You like silver, right? I understand. I'm leaving now. Fengming got the answer and stopped bothering Su Chen and left quickly. The next day, Su Chen harnessed the carriage and took Dashu with him. He drove the front carriage and Dashu drove the carriage carrying goods at the back. He had received special training in driving, and since he was the older brother, he was a relatively stable person, so Su Chen asked him to drive the horse-drawn carriage and go with them to Qingyuan County and Qingchuan County. My uncle drove a horse-drawn carriage to Qinghe to deliver goods. The troops were divided into two groups. Su's mother and Su Yi were in charge of the workshop. She was relieved that the soap was still being made and the flowers were being delivered one after another. In terms of distance, Qingchuan is closer, so go to Qingchuan County first, and then to Qingyuan County. My uncle gave them the key to the house. After that, they had to go to my uncle's house to help them pack their things and bring them to Xiangzhou. It was not convenient for their family to go back, as they were afraid of running into the county magistrate's son and not being able to explain themselves. The loaded carriage was covered with oilcloth, and my uncle was not alone, but Xiaoxu was with him. So it was really a wise choice for Su Wan to buy two boys at that time. From Xiangzhou to Qingchuan. By the time they arrived at the county, it was already late in the afternoon, so they looked for a place to stay first. This time I brought more than 1,000 bars of soap, and I had to sell them all. I would first investigate the market. The county is different from Xiangzhou. There are fewer people visiting the cosmetic shops. Most of the people around here are ordinary people, and they pay more attention to cost-effectiveness. Therefore, the shops with the most traffic are grain and oil shops and grocery shops. Su Wan first turned his attention to grocery stores, looking for the largest one with the best business. She didn't know whether goat milk soap was useful in Xiangzhou, but she certainly couldn't sell it too expensively at the beginning. In order to open up the market, she sold it at the original price, and then raised the price back to the original price when she sold it the second time. After staying here for one night, Su Wan asked the innkeeper which grocery store in the county was the largest and had the best business. The next day, she took the goods to the grocery store. This time, the grocery store was run by a couple. They had never heard of goat milk soap, so they did not agree with Su Wan's suggestion of only taking half the money and paying the balance after all the products were sold. Because Su Wan left behind 600 bars of soap at one time, totaling more than 200 taels of silver, it was not a small amount of money for them, so they did not dare to take the risk. However, they are receiving dividends, so they are not at a loss in the end, but they are unwilling to pay first and want to wait until all the soaps are sold out before paying. Su Wan could understand that it was understandable that they thought this way. After all, it was not a small amount of money. Su Wan is an honest businessman, so she agreed to the couple's request and would settle the payment after all the goat milk soaps were sold out. She will send someone to check again in a month. But Su Chen was also worried. He pulled Su Wan over and whispered, "You don't want a penny now. What if they deny their debt after they've sold all the items and run away with the money? This is more than 200 taels of silver. This batch of soap is worth a lot of money, enough to live comfortably for a long time." Third brother, you are short-sighted. I have inquired about it. This grocery store has been open for 10 years. The profit is more than 200 taels. So, they are not afraid that they will run away. Moreover, they know the value of goat milk soap. One order can make more than 30 taels for free. With a few more orders, 200 taels can be obtained. For a long-term business, why take risks? Is it worth giving up the current stability for 200 taels? Money will eventually run out, but as long as the shop is there, the business will not be cut off, which is a kind of guarantee. If it were you, would you choose to take advantage of this little bargain? Suwon patiently explained to him that 200 taels might sound like a lot at first glance, but it was actually not much, and would not make him rich. The third brother doesn't go into business, and he doesn't think much, so he is easily blinded by the little bit of profit in front of him and fails to see the essence. But he was not wrong. After all, people's hearts are hidden, so we should always be on guard against others. If Suwon explained it to him this way, he would understand. It was really the truth. 200 taels may sound like a lot, but in reality it is not that much, and cannot sustain their good life for long. As expected, you are the one who has to take care of business matters. Otherwise, if I were to do this business, I would probably lose a lot of money.
Sumushracht.
He was just a reckless man, and could only serve as a bodyguard. Suwon showed her sincerity to the grocery store, but she signed a document as a guarantee, leaving the 600 bars of soap for them to sell without taking a penny, and would collect the money after all of them were sold. Qingchuan County was opened up in this way, and people from Su and Wan set off to Qingyuan County one after another. From Qingchuan to Qingyuan. After arriving in Qingyuan, it was already night when they entered the city. Su Chen asked Suwon to hide in the carriage and found a large inn and booked 2 rooms. Qingyuan is not peaceful, so it is safer to stay in a better place. After booking a room, Suwon got out of the car wearing a face mask. At the same time, people arranged by Fengying also moved into the inn one after another and protected Suwon tightly, without her knowledge. Suwon even ate his meals in the room with his third brother instead of going downstairs. It's still the same idea. The goods are sold through grocery stores. Suwon did not go out for a walk, but went to bed early. After settling the matters here, she would hurry back to Xiangzhou and wait until all the channels were opened. In the future, she would not come to deliver the goods personally. She would buy some more people to deliver the goods specifically. I also asked the shopkeeper about the largest grocery store in the county. The next morning, Suwon went to the grocery store and the business negotiations went smoothly because this grocery store in Qingyuan County had heard of goat milk soap in Qinghe. He didn't say that he would give the money after all the products were sold, but gave half of the money first. So, it is better to have some fame, which is easier to talk about than knowing nothing at all. 600 bars of soap, half of which costs about 100 taels of silver. The issue of the goat milk soap was resolved that morning, and that afternoon, Suwon, Su Chen, and Dashu drove out of the city to their uncle's hometown. There wasn't much to pack, just tidy up the house, take away some identity documents, the family's land deeds, and the 20 taels of silver that my aunt had mentioned buried under the tree in the yard. She said it was for Yang Qingqing's dowry. My uncle's home is not far from the county, just as far as Su Guan's hometown is from Qinghe County. We soon arrived at my uncle's house. The neighbors next door were still raising their livestock. After such a long time, they had not given up. Suwon asked his third brother to give them some money as a thank you. He also learned that the county magistrate's son had come here several times and was very angry because he didn't find anyone. I also asked them where my uncle and his family had gone, but they said they were visiting relatives. They didn't elaborate on where they went. Unexpectedly, after so long, the county magistrate's son has not given up. It is true that what you can't get will always make you restless. Suwon didn't dare to delay any longer and quickly took the things and left with his third brother. As for the chickens at home, it would be a pity to throw them away. Just pack them all up and take them away. When you get back to Xiangzhou City, you can eat them or keep them for laying eggs. There is no problem anyway. After locking the door, Suwon and the other 3 got on the carriage and prepared to return to Xiangzhou. If we set out now, it would probably be night before we get halfway there. However, we would pass 2 towns on the way. There were small inns in the towns, but the environment was just a little worse. After leaving the village where my uncle lives, we came to a small country road. Su Chun was driving the carriage in front, and Dashu was following behind. An open-air sedan chair came towards us, carried by 4 people. A young man was sitting on it with his legs crossed. He looked like a dandy young man. There was a lackey next to the sedan chair, saying something to him in a flattering manner. When a carriage pulled by 2 horses appeared on the road, they had no intersection with each other and just passed each other. However, when the 2 sedan chairs overlapped, the wind blew up the curtain of Su Wan's sedan chair. In a glimpse, Su Wan in the carriage happened to look out the window. The moment the curtain fell, she only saw the man's obsessed eyes. Su Wan felt puzzled, but didn't take it seriously, until a voice was heard outside the carriage. "Wait, stop." The country road was very bumpy and Su Chin was not driving very fast. Hearing these words, Su Chin slowed down, even more puzzled. The man in the sedan chair who had passed by had already jumped out of the sedan chair and ran to the front of Su Chen's carriage with his sedan bearers to block it. Su Chen didn't know him, nor did he know what he wanted to do. He only knew that he pointed at the carriage excitedly and shouted, "I think I know the girl in the carriage. Can you ask her to come out and meet me?" Su Wan also heard it clearly in the carriage, so without waiting for Su Chen to say anything, she opened the carriage door and looked out. With the greasy-looking man, whose eyes lit up instantly, and he swallowed. "Wan, do you know him?"
Su Chen asked.
Su Wan frowned and shook his head. "I don't know him. It's getting late. Let's go." As soon as she saw the man, her face turned lustful and disgusting. The carriage door closed again, and the man was still reminiscing with an obsessed look on his face. Su Chen also frowned unhappily. "Sir, my sister said she doesn't know you. Please make way." "So you are her brother. This makes things easy. She doesn't know me, but I know her." The man threw away the folding fan in his hand and started fanning it, thinking he looked very handsome. "What do you mean?" Su Chun was getting a little impatient. This guy was really weird. "We may not know each other now, but we will know each other in the future. Is your sister married?" the man asked again. Su Chun felt uncomfortable when he asked this question. Su Wan said directly in the carriage, "Third brother, don't talk to him so much. Let's go." However, this group of people were blocking the road. Although he wanted to leave, he couldn't push over them. "Sir, please make way." Su Chun tried his best to speak to him in a nice way. "I'm asking you a question. Why are you talking so much nonsense? My master is asking if your sister is engaged? Don't you understand?" The man winked at Su Chun in a bad tone. As a result, his master hit him on the head with a fan and scolded him. "How can you talk like that? This is my future brother-in-law. Be polite." I fell in love with the girl in the carriage at first sight, and I fell in love with her again. I am asking if I can marry her. If she's not promised to anyone, why not marry me? I can marry her in a formal ceremony, with a sedan chair carried by 8 people, and take her as my principal wife. When Su Chen heard this, his face instantly darkened, and he clenched his back teeth tightly.
"What did you say?"
"Say it again? You didn't understand this? My master is interested in your sister and is willing to marry her, and as his legal wife. You can be happy. My master is the only son of the magistrate of Qingyuan County. If you follow my master, you will have everything you want in Qingyuan. Don't be ungrateful. Tell your sister to get off the carriage and come and see him immediately." That lackey started talking again, really taking advantage of his master's power. This time, his master did not refute, but looked at Su Chen complacently. Su Wan was in the carriage, almost vomiting after listening to these self-righteous words. Did she think it was? It turned out to be the beastly son of the county magistrate. She had such bad luck today that she actually met such an unlucky thing. He even married her as his legal wife, as if she deserved to be blessed. Doesn't this guy already have a wife? How would his wife feel if she knew about this? "You are the son of the county magistrate of Qingyuan County, right?" Su Chen jumped down from the carriage with a dark face and said, his tone showing unconcealed dissatisfaction. "Yes, it is this young master. If your sister marries me, I will not treat her badly. I will pamper her every day. Even if she wants the stars in the sky, I will pick them for her. He said that he pampered her every day. His face was greasy and full of smirk. The meaning was self-evident, and it completely angered Su-chin. If someone dares to tease his daughter Wanwan, shouldn't he give her a big gift? That's great. I have a debt that I've wanted to settle with you for a long time. Su-chin had a sinister smile on his face. He pinched his fingers, and his bones made a crackling sound. He approached the son of the county magistrate step by step with such a strong aura that the son of the county magistrate was frightened and took a step back.
You.
What do you want to do? I advise you not to be ungrateful. Otherwise, I will not be polite to you. We have more people. I allow you to come together. After Su-chin said this, he threw a punch, directly hitting the county magistrate's son into a panda eye. The son of the county magistrate screamed, covered his eyes, and fell to the ground. His lackeys helped him up. Why are you still standing there?
Come on, kill him.
The county magistrate's son was furious and ordered his men to beat Su-chin. But for Su-chin, this was a piece of cake. Dashu saw the fight starting, so he ran out from behind and stood in front of Su-won's carriage, looking like he was determined to protect the young lady to the death. Su-won heard it clearly in the carriage. Third brother was beating someone up, and she was watching the fun inside. This county magistrate's son deserves a beating. Since we met him today and he came to my door on purpose, I would be doing a disservice to my cousin Qingqing if I didn't beat him up. Anyway, Su-won will only come to Qingyuan this time and will not come again. In Xiangzhou, the mountains are high and the emperor is far away. How dare an 8th rank official in their family come to the provincial government to make trouble? In the wilderness, it feels great to take revenge when there is a grudge. Miss, please hide quickly. I will protect you to the death. Dashu didn't know Su-chin's strength yet and had a fearless expression, which even made Su-won laugh. Don't worry, we won't be the ones to hide. Su-chin kicked them one by one, throwing them to the ground like chickens, breaking 2 of their ribs. The 5 lackeys were knocked down in just 2 moves. They were wailing on the ground and couldn't even get up. Both sides of the path, the thugs arranged by Feng wanted to go out to help, but they didn't have the chance to do anything. When the son of the county magistrate saw that his men had fallen, he wanted to run away. However, before he had taken a few steps, he was picked up by Su-chin and beaten up. He was hit symmetrically in the eyes, kicked in the stomach several times, and one of his arms was broken. Su-won listened to the tragic screams, calmly took out a picture book he bought in the county, and continued reading. It was the hottest day of the year, and I was so scared that I trembled violently. This 3rd young master is too fierce. He is worrying too much. Su-chin brought them to the side of the road one by one and cleared a path for him to drive away. Remember, don't think about anyone in the future. Su-chin kicked him on the butt and left, leaving the county magistrate's son wailing on the ground. Su-chin just beat them, not killed them. He just taught them a lesson. After Su-won's carriage left, 4 secret guards in black clothes came out from the bushes on both sides. Each of them had a long sword on his body. Just let him go like that? Master Su-sen just wants to teach him a lesson, but I don't want to let him off so easily. What do you think we should do? These secret guards are all Jiang Yu's diehard fans. Dare to tease the girl. I'll give you a gift to end your offspring and eliminate all future troubles. The 4 of them looked at each other and grinned. They are all more sinister than each other. On a quiet and remote country road, a heart-wrenching scream was heard. Broken, completely broken. Su-chin had not walked far. He had good hearing and naturally heard some subtle sounds, but he just smiled, shook the reins, and silently increased the speed of the carriage. At night, we found a town to stay in for the night and returned to Xiangzhou the next day. Su-won told his uncle's family the story of how Su-chin had taught the county magistrate's son a lesson as a joke. But after listening to my uncle, he looked worried. You beat him up like this, will he seek revenge? We are all common people. We don't fight against officials. What should we do if he comes to our door? This is what we caused, and we will implicate you as well. Uncle, don't say such things. He deserves to be beaten. Besides, who told him to speak frivolously and dissolutely? Since he flirted with Wanwan in front of me, I am already showing mercy by not letting him have no descendants. Su Chun said indignantly. He knew that after he left, the county magistrate's son was beaten, but he never thought that Feng Ying's men did things that he did not do. Su Wan nodded in agreement with his third brother and also comforted his uncle. Uncle, we're in Xiangzhou Prefecture, and they only bully others in Qinghe. The county magistrate is only an 8th rank official, and he is nothing in the prefecture. So, what if he has a backer? Qing Yuan is so far away, we just fought without revealing our names. How could he find us? We can only consider ourselves unlucky. Although my uncle and the others were still a little scared, they felt really happy and had a sense of revenge, which relieved a lot of the anger they had been holding in their hearts. In Qingyuan County, the county magistrate's office was in an uproar. The county magistrate's only son was ruined, and half his life was lost. The county magistrate's son has only 2 daughters and no son. The 7 or 8 concubines in the backyard, including his own wife, all pretended to be sad and betrayed him, and they wanted to set off firecrackers to celebrate. Now, he could no longer appease the girl. After all, he was powerless. Su Wan didn't take this matter to heart. In the next half-month, she visited the remaining 5 counties in Xiangzhou Prefecture and delivered 3,000 bars of soap. After she came back, she bought 3 more men and 2 female servants and had them live in the workshop. Of them, Dashu is the main one, and from now on they will specialize in delivering goods in the 8 counties of Xiangzhou. In the future, but now, Su Wan has opened up the entire market in Xiangzhou. Goat milk soap is quickly circulated in Xiangzhou and has become famous. The people on hand are more than enough to manage the supply in Xiangzhou. There is no visible profit from this first order, as all the money was spent on staffing. The first order is considered to break even, and only subsequent orders will start to make money. Su Wan planned to open stores in neighboring Yenzhou and Suzhou one after another once the business in Xiangzhou was completely stabilized. Select the right people for the right positions and choose capable people to manage the store and be the shopkeeper. In Xiangzhou Prefecture and the 8 counties, the workshop had to deliver at least 5,000 bars of soap every month, and the monthly net profit was conservatively estimated to be around 1,500 taels. According to this standard, if we finish this year, the net profit by the end of the year will be at least 10,000 taels of silver. In the second half of the year, we will open the markets in Yenzhou and Suzhou and open stores directly in Yenzhou and Suzhou to sell our products. As for the small counties in their territory, they can just set up small shops to sell the products without looking for agents. The monthly rent for a small shop in the county is very cheap. Dashu and his friends did hard work and had to run back and forth, so Su Wan increased their monthly salary to 5 taels per month. During the grain and ear season, their salary was increased to 4 taels per month. A salary increase can really make people more motivated. Everyone worked very hard, and Su Wan didn't have to worry about anything. Fortunately, Xiangzhou is relatively peaceful, so Dashu and his men are not afraid of encountering bandits or highway robbers when delivering goods. In the future, when Su Wan becomes capable, she will set up a strong delivery team of her own, composed entirely of young and strong men. She will also ask a master to train them and teach them some self-defense skills so that they can be more secure when delivering goods between states in the future. The main workshop was established in Xiangzhou. In the future, the workshop will expand and more people will work there. Su Wan's goal is to set up branch workshops in the most prosperous Kyoto and Zhongzhou, control the entire market in the north, south, and center of Jin State, make goat milk soap spread all over the country, and even go abroad. Xiangzhou governs the south of the Yangtze River. The capital is in the north, and Zhongzhou is undoubtedly the central region of Jin State. The business in Xiangzhou, Su Wan finally had some free time and could have a good sleep at home. In early May, she will be celebrating her 14th birthday. After 14, she will be 15 years old, and she will be a marriageable woman next year. The second day of May is her birthday, and also Gu Yu's birthday. But Su Wan herself didn't know that her soul came from the afterlife and her birthday was not on this day, so she herself didn't remember it. The scene turns to half a month ago, Zhongzhou, Fengyue Villa. Jiang Yu received a letter from Xiangzhou, which was written by Feng Ying himself. He kept every letter carefully. The 2 pages of letter paper talked about the recent events in Xiangzhou. He smiled when reading the first page, and muttered to himself, "Like money?" He frowned. Isn't this difficult for him? If he likes something, he knows which direction to look for it, but he said he likes silver. Does that mean he will really give money? But according to his understanding of the little girl, she likes money, but only likes the money she earns herself. If others give her money directly, she will not accept it. First, I feel embarrassed that I should not accept the reward without doing anything. Second, I feel it is meaningless because it is not earned by myself, and it is like a hot potato in my hands. Then she continued reading, and on the second page, it mentioned what had happened to her in Qingyuan County and the son of the county magistrate who had been cut off from having any offspring. Although he had been treated badly, the sinister Jiang Yu still felt unhappy. As expected, the little girl's face is easy to attract attention. She's already like this now, even though she hasn't fully grown up yet. What will happen in 2 years? So he called in his men. Send a letter to the capital, asking the old man to find a reason to dismiss the magistrate of Qingyuan County in Xiangzhou, saying that he has offended me. Jiang Yu said it calmly, but his subordinates were in a dilemma. Young master, the county magistrate is only an 8th rank official. Are you sure you still want to ask that person for help? I'm not in the official career, so if I don't look for him, who else can I look for? Besides, the magistrate of Qingyuan County has committed many evil deeds, and it's not that he was wronged. The chief officer of Xiangzhou is his brother-in-law. With this relationship, isn't it enough for him to take action? Just go when I tell you to go. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Jiang Yu glanced at his men calmly, showing his authority without even getting angry, and they shrugged. Looking at the familiar handwriting on the paper, he knew it was a letter from Xiangzhou. I don't know when the young master became so childish that he even used his connections to suppress an 8th rank official. Not to mention that the Qingyuan County magistrate was a man of many evil deeds. In the past, even if someone killed someone in front of him, he would not necessarily do anything. The subordinate complained in his heart and was about to turn around and leave when Jiang Yu called him again. Wait, if a person likes silver, what is the appropriate gift? In Xiangzhou were not very clear about what was happening to their young master in Xiangzhou, so they did not know that their young master was suffering from lovesickness. The subordinate laughed unkindly. Young master, you said that people like silver, so of course you should give them silver. Asking was the same as not asking. Jiang Yu held his forehead and told him to get lost. His men left. Guests came to his Jiaxing pavilion. When Sun Beidou arrived in Zhongzhou, he first visited the owner of Fengyue Villa and then went to find Jiang Yunhe to reminisce about the past. He brought his granddaughter and beloved disciple, and the 4 of them went to find Jiang Yu. Sun Beidou said he would take Su Mu to meet an old friend of his, but Su Mu didn't know that person was Jiang Yu. Without notifying anyone, the 4 entered the Jiaxing pavilion and found Jiang Yu's men moving things into the carriage. Oh, you're going on a long journey. Was frowning and flipping through a book in the room when he heard Sun Beidou's loud voice. Jiang Yunhe raised his eyebrows with an expression that showed he understood everything. Jiang Yu heard the voice, came out, and clenched his fists as soon as he appeared. Mr. Sun, long time no see. Where are you going, kid? Your uncle, he has already found you. Are you going back to Kyoto at this time of year? Apart from Kyoto, Sun Beidou couldn't think of where he would go. He had been running around everywhere before, all looking for Jiang Yunhe. How can we go back to Kyoto? How can the magic power of Kyoto be as great as that of Xiangzhou? Jiang Yunhe said something in a sarcastic tone, and every time he spoke, he revealed some big news. Grandpa Sun Beidou and his grandson looked at him with gossipy expressions. Xiangzhou? What do you mean, old man? But Jiang Yunhe kept Sun Bei in suspense and refused to speak, which made Sun Bei very angry. Su Mu saw Jiang Yu, and then looked at old Sun, who was familiar with him. With his intelligence, it was not difficult for him to figure out the whole story. It was no coincidence that Mr. Sun suddenly took a liking to him. It was Jiang Yu who was acting as a matchmaker. I still remember he said before that he didn't want the pearl to be covered in dust. Second brother Su, long time no see. I hope you are well.
Gang yung greeted Sumu.
Sumu nodded. Nothing happened. Thank you. He clasped his fists towards Jiangyu and bowed solemnly. All his words were condensed in these 4 words. Sumu was not a person who liked to talk nonsense. He thanked Jiangyu for giving him this opportunity. There were a lot of words to say, but if he said too much, it would just make people feel pretentious, so everything was said without saying anything. Just now, your uncle he mentioned Xiangzhou. Are you going to Xiangzhou? Sun Beidou is a gossip. He just wants to eat melons, so he keeps asking questions. Jiangyu nodded. Yes, I'm going to Xiangzhou to do some work. I'll be back in a few months. Are you going to do business or to meet someone? You have to distinguish them clearly. Jiang Yunhe ruthlessly sabotaged him. Jiangyu looked at him meaningfully, then laughed to himself. Brother Yu, do you have a girl you like? Sun Linger on the side also spoke up curiously. It turns out that there are only 2 types of people in one family, and gossip is hereditary. Who? Which girl? Have I seen her before? Old Sun was still in the dark. Jiangyu quickly changed the subject. Is there anything you need me to bring, or anything you want me to say when I go to Xiangzhou? You know what, it's true. Jiang Yunhe wanted to write a letter to his disciple, and Sumu was thinking about Wanwan's birthday and wanted Jiangyu to bring a gift back. Then I will write a letter, and you can bring it to my good disciple. My sister's birthday is coming up soon, so I asked Ayu to bring a gift back to her. He had already bought the things, especially a hairpin from a jewelry store on Zhongzhou Street. He asked Sun Linger to be his advisor, so nothing should go wrong. He also didn't know what special gift to give the girl, and it seemed that the only option was jewelry. Sun Linger boldly guessed that the girl Jiangyu liked should be Miss Sulu. I heard that he was rescued by the Su family and stayed in the Su family for half a year. He must have developed feelings for them over time and couldn't forget them. Brother Yu, Miss Sulu is very kind. Please bring her a gift for me as well. She emphasized the word, very good, on purpose, took off one of her jade bracelets from her wrist and handed it to him. The things Sun Linger gave were all her favorite things. The rosewood beads last time and the mutton fat jade bracelet this time were both top-quality items. Jiangyu took the bracelet, called his men over, and asked him to find a box to put the bracelet in and take it away. Then I'll thank Linger on behalf of Wanwan. He said this. Everyone looked puzzled again, and Su Mu frowned slightly. Wait, this should be said by him, as the older brother, right? Did this kid reveal his thoughts too obviously? I should be the one to thank Miss Linger on behalf of my Wanwan. I should also thank brother Jiangyu for making this trip. I am sorry for the trouble. Su Mu's words sounded like he was disassociating himself from the other party. Generally speaking, the more unfamiliar someone is, the less related they seem. Sun Linga laughed even though she was not being kind, and secretly sighed that Suwon was really lucky to have so many people caring about her. Jiangyu just smiled. The road ahead is long and arduous. So it's her. You are a hidden talent. Good, that's great. No matter how confused Sun Beidou was, he should understand now. The girl Suwon is clever, intelligent, eloquent, good-looking, well-educated, and sensible. She is quite good and seems more real than those daughters of wealthy families. Jiangyu is still wondering. You all have prepared the gifts, but he is still overwhelmed. He looked at Sun Linger and suddenly thought that she seemed to be the same age as Suwon. Both were little girls, so why not ask her? Linger, if someone likes money, what should I give him? Wouldn't it be too vulgar to just give him money? Sun Linger was drinking tea and almost choked when she heard the sound. So, sixth miss like silver? Giving silver as a gift is indeed a bit vulgar, but brother Yu, if someone likes flowers, can you only give her flowers? This really stumped Jiangyu. He chuckled and glanced at Su Mu's reaction. Su Mu had a blank expression on his face, and nothing could be seen. I didn't say it was the 6th Mississippi, Jiangyu denied it. However, Sun Linger understood that the real owner's biological brother was present. Let me put it this way. I have developed a recipe for jade face cream. I had a heart-to-heart talk with the 6th Miss before. She said that when she opens a shop in the future, she wants to make some skincare cream and goat milk soap to sell together. The recipe for jade face cream was developed by me and improved by my grandfather himself. The effect is several times better than the general beauty cream on the market. You take this recipe to her, and she can make money with it in the future. Isn't it better than you just giving her money? Sure enough, only girls know what girls like. Sixth Miss is not an ordinary person. She is not superficial. If you give her money directly, she will probably think that you have a problem with your brain. Sun Linger pointed to her head. Although she didn't spend much time with Suwon, she knew that Suwon was not a superficial person. In this way, Jiang Yu's urgent problem was solved. Okay, I won't take it for nothing. I'll give you something in exchange. I'll give you any item you like. Jiang Yu doesn't like to get something for nothing, nor does he like to owe favors to others. Sun Linger looked around. She suddenly smiled evilly and looked at her grandfather. Just as she was about to speak, Jiang Yu smiled helplessly again and raised his hand and said, "Stop, Millennium Ganoderma lucidum, right? I'll find someone to deliver it to you." The old man and the young boy had been longing for his 1,000-year-old Ganoderma lucidum for a long time. This was sent to him by someone asked by the old man in Kyoto. He is so young and full of vigor. Why does he need such a tonic? Before, Sun Beidou had tried various ways to persuade him to swap with him, but he kept him on suspense, thinking that he would need help in the future. This time, he generously agreed. Ha ha ha, he didn't admit it before, but now he admits it. I am very envious of you young people. Sun Beidou pointed at Jiang Yu and looked at Jiang Yunhe. Jiang Yunhe also smiled and joked. The child has grown up, the child has grown up. Jiang Yu, this flower on the mountain, finally fell from the altar. When he met a girl he liked very much, he would act like a little boy. He would not hide his feelings, but express them openly. Jiang Yu's face. He concealed it by drinking tea and quietly observed Su Mu's reaction. Su Mu's face did not look good, and his hand, which was holding the cup too tightly, turned pale. How could he still smile when his own sister was being missed? Jiang Yu exposed his inner thoughts without any disguise. But on second thought, since I will have to accept a disgusting guy as my brother-in-law in the future anyway, it would be better if this person is Jiang Yu. At least he is reliable, capable, and looks okay. If it were any other random person, he might be even more unacceptable. Although, Jiang Yu is only within the range of reluctant acceptance. If it weren't for Jiang Yu, he might still be working as a waiter in the pharmacy in that small county town. How could he have the opportunity to follow Master Sun Beidou now? He is not pretentious and just considers it as a favor. Su's mother was thinking about Suwon's birthday, so she went out to buy things for Suwon's birthday the day before. She went to the clothing store and bought 2 sets of summer clothes for Suwon, both in the little girl's favorite colors. To be honest, this is the first time that my family has properly celebrated our child's birthday. Now that conditions are better, we have to celebrate when it's time to add some joy. A new house should have some homely feel. After running for a month, Suwon felt uncomfortable all over and went to bed early for several days. I slept until noon, and when I opened my eyes, I was still asleep when I saw 2 new dresses at the head of the bed, one in goose yellow and the other in green. They looked pretty. She didn't know why she had new clothes to wear today. Just as she was thinking about it, Su's mother came in. She pushed open the door and saw her daughter sitting there in a daze with a disheveled face. "Mom, what day is today? Did you buy this for me?" "That's right, some people even forget their own birthday," Su's mother joked, holding a basin of hot water in her hand. Suwon thought about it carefully and pointed at himself with a little hesitation. "Is it my birthday today?" "What? Have you really forgotten? You haven't woken up yet? It seems that you are too tired recently." Su's mother couldn't help but feel distressed when she thought about her daughter traveling back and forth for her business. It was normal for Suwon to be unsure, as her birthday was originally in July, and now she knew. U.S. birthday is also today. They were born on the same day. There is no way to ignore it. Hurry up and wash up, put on new clothes, and I'll comb your hair into a beautiful bun. Let's have a wonderful birthday. Su's mother took her hand and got up. After Suwon washed up, she let her clean herself up. She wore a green skirt, which looked very fresh. Her long hair was half tied up and half let down, draped behind her head, which made her look gentler. There is no decoration on the head, just a pearl flower of the same color, which is simple and exquisite. After she was dressed up, at first glance, she looked almost the same as when she was at Goo's house before. It was as if she was still that rich girl. Fourth brother also took a day off today to come back and spend her birthday with her. The three brothers all prepared birthday gifts for Suwon. Suchin bought her a round fan embroidered with hibiscus and with tassels on the handle. The weather was getting warmer, and almost every woman in Xiangzhou Prefecture had one, so he went to buy one for Suwon because he knew she liked hibiscus. Fourth brother gave a box of rouge and spent all his 2-month salary to buy the best rouge from Madame Xie. He also asked Madame Xie which one was most suitable for Suwon, so that she would not make a mistake. The fifth brother was more special. He bought a small piece of wood from somewhere and carved a small statue of Suwon with his own hands. Unexpectedly, he was not only an excellent painter, but also an excellent woodcarver. In order to carve out a satisfactory effect, he threw several semi-finished products repeatedly, and blisters appeared on his fingers. He didn't know when it started, but she didn't even notice it. He gave the wood carving to Suwon. She noticed the blisters on his fingers at a glance. Suwon's heart tightened, and she took his hand and looked at it carefully. Fifth brother, how did your hands become like this? Sui pulled his hand back, hid it behind his back, and smiled indifferently. It's okay. It will be fine in a few days. I don't feel any pain. He didn't feel any pain, but Suwon felt heartbroken. Fifth brother, tell me, why are you going through all this trouble? It must have taken a lot of thought, right? I'll help you pop the blisters and then apply some medicine on you. Suwon was very happy to receive gifts from his third and fourth brothers, but when it came to Sui, the gifts they gave were thrown aside, as Suwon's attention was attracted by him. Suyun saw Suwon holding Suyi's hand and blowing on it very gently. Then he looked at Suyi's slightly aggrieved expression, and his back teeth were clattering. Third brother, look at him, he is so scheming. Suchin was not as angry as Suyun, but he couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. When Suwon heard her fourth brother's complaints, she immediately retorted on behalf of her fifth brother. Fourth brother, how can you say that? Fifth brother did this just to make me happy. It's fine if you don't care about him, but how can you say he is scheming? Faced with his sister's indignant expression, Suyun was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. You. He stammered there for a long time, but couldn't find any words to refute. The most important thing was that Sui raised his eyebrows at him provocatively when Suwon couldn't see, which made him even more crazy.
Good job, Sui.
We'll see what happens next year. After Suyun finished speaking, he crossed his arms and turned around angrily. Suwon saw them fighting in primary school and felt helpless, so he stepped out to be a peacemaker. I like all the gifts from my brothers very much. You are so thoughtful. I have put on new clothes, but I always feel that something is missing. I just need this round fan from my third brother and this box of rouge from my fourth brother to improve my complexion. When I go out, I will definitely be the most beautiful girl on the street. Suwon is a master at keeping things in balance. He can coax his brothers into submission with just a few words. That's more like it. Brothers had delivered their gifts. My uncle and his family also came to deliver gifts. Suwon paid their family a total of 20 taels of silver per month, and the salary would increase in the future. They were not particularly rich, so her aunt sewed 2 sets of undergarments for her to wear to sleep at night. Yang Qingqing embroidered a sachet herself, went to the pharmacy to buy some calming herbs and stuffed it inside, hoping that she would sleep well when she put it next to her pillow at night. The gift may be small, but the sentiment is great. This is the happiest birthday Suwon has had in all these years. Su's father was also thinking about Suwon's birthday today, so he came to Xiangzhou yesterday. However, he didn't arrive until the evening, so Suwon didn't know about it. I didn't see him until I reached the front hall.
Det, Suvan shouted in surprise.
When Mr. Su heard this, he smiled so hard that his eyes narrowed into slits. Oh, my Wanwan is so beautiful today. Dad, why are you here? I'm just thinking about your birthday. This is your first birthday in our house, so of course Dad has to come and accompany you. Suwon was almost moved to death. This knife of family love was so powerful. It was also during the chat that I learned about some family news. Father Su said that He Jialan from the He family got married a few days ago. She married a scholar from the next village, and her family gave her a dowry of 50 taels. Although they are both daughters, the treatment Jiao Xing and she receive is completely different. It's better to choose a scholar. The He family's dream has not been shattered yet. However, just treat it as a joke and laugh it off. Anyway, I will not have any contact with the He family in the future. Whether their family is good or bad is none of their business. Suwon had a very happy birthday. The whole family was having a great time. At noon, everyone in the workshop came over. Grain in ear and great heat, the 10 of them congratulated Suwon together. 10 people stood in a neat row. Mangzhong made a gesture, and they shouted in unison, "Congratulations to the young lady on her birthday. May everything go well, and all goes well." They were all good at dealing with things. Suwon was happy and gave them some rewards, 50 cents each. Su's mother and aunt also prepared 2 tables of food. Mangzhong and her family sat at one table, and Su's family members sat at another table. While eating, Suyun suddenly mentioned that there would be singing, dancing, and magic performances at the Yueman West Tower tonight, which would be very lively, and asked Su to join in the fun in the evening. Anyway, I'm happy. What a coincidence. It's her birthday, and there are activities for her to attend. I might as well go and join in the fun. Besides, the products of Moon Over the West Tower are definitely excellent, and it is definitely worth watching them. Okay, then go to shopkeeper Luo and reserve a good seat, so we can join in the fun in the front row. You don't have to tell me. I've already told you that there are so many people here tonight. If you go too late, where will there be any seats? Su-yun had already given notice a long time ago, so Su-won didn't need to worry about it at all. He just came to inform her. In the afternoon, Yang Qingqing accompanied Su-won to go shopping. They bought all kinds of things on the street, and her 3 brothers followed them carrying bags. She bought wasn't expensive, but she was happy, so let her do what she wanted. The money was earned by her, so she could spend it however she wanted. Having been in Xiangzhou for such a long time, but never going on a lake cruise, Su-won suggested going on a boat cruise. However, Su-yun was traumatized. He almost lost his life because of the boating incident, and he has not yet recovered. Since he refused to get on the boat, Su-won had no choice but to let the matter go. Finally, it was night, and the Su family went to Yueman West Tower to watch the performance. Shopkeeper Luo booked a private room on the 2nd floor for them, which was just right for the whole family to sit in and clearly see the performance downstairs. Tea and snacks have been served, and the snacks are the best and most expensive. Date paste cake and lotus root powder cake were all served, and the tea was the best pre-arranged Longjing tea. 4th brother, did you prepare this in advance? Su-won asked casually. Su-yun shook his head. I didn't order anything. I just wanted to reserve the best seat for watching the fun. It might be a gift from shopkeeper Luo. He has always been polite and warm to us. Su-yun didn't think so. When he was working in the store, people in the front hall were very polite to him. Although he had to do everything he was supposed to do in the kitchen, no one dared to provoke him. Yes, every time Su-won came, they received her according to the highest etiquette. If she hadn't insisted on giving her money, shopkeeper Luo probably wouldn't have accepted it. After everyone was seated, Su-won pushed open the window of the private room. He wanted to see the scene downstairs, but his sight was uncontrollably captured by a hint of purple. Across the entire lobby, in the private room opposite Su-won's private room, a man in a purple robe seemed to be looking at her and smiling. For a moment, Su-won's heart jumped into his throat. She didn't know what happened to her. The man's face was blurry because of the distance. She wanted to recognize him, but she didn't dare to. It was not until he saw the man get up and leave that Su-won's legs turned around and ran out uncontrollably. Where are you going? Su-yun was eating a piece of lotus root cake, and then he saw Su-won walking away without looking back. Su-chan also looked at Su-yi, and seeing how anxious she was, he decided to follow her to see what was going on. The interior of the Moon Over the West building is a big circle, similar to the building in the movie Big Fish and Begonia. Su-won kept walking forward while holding up her skirt. There were a lot of people here today, all coming to watch the magic show. She had some difficulty walking forward, and someone accidentally stepped on her foot, causing her to hiss in pain. The person who stepped on her was a young man wearing a moon-white brocade robe. He quickly apologized to Suwon. I'm sorry. Suwon looked down at her feet and saw a dusty shoe print left on her new embroidered shoes. It was nothing serious, and Suwon was not hurt. It's okay. Suwon looked up and said to the man. She didn't take it seriously, but the young man was staring at her in a daze. Before he could say anything else, Suwon had already turned her back, and his outstretched hand froze in place. Suwon turned around and bumped into someone's chest again. She complained in her heart that today was really rough, and she just wanted to confirm whether that person was him. Miss Sulu, how can you walk with your head down? A familiar voice suddenly entered her ears. She covered her forehead, which was hit, and when she looked up, she bumped into a pair of smiling peach eyes. That familiar, handsome face, the purple robe that he loved so much. Who else could it be but Jiangyu? It really was him. Suwon felt a little excited and smiled foolishly. Seeing her laughing so stupidly, Jiangyu also chuckled and actually laughed out loud. Jiangyu reached out to tidy up the messy hair on her forehead. His movements were extremely gentle. Seeing the shoe prints on the toes of her shoes, under the shocked gazes of his two men, he pulled out a handkerchief from his sleeve, knelt on one knee in front of Suwon, and used the handkerchief to clean the uppers of her shoes. At that moment, Suwon didn't dare to move. She only knew that her heart was beating so fast that she was almost suffocating. This strange feeling, based on her experience of watching soap operas for so long, undoubtedly meant that she was attracted to someone. And this person is Jiangyu, but he is the second male lead in the book. Okay, it's not dirty anymore. Jiangyu threw the dirty handkerchief he had used to wipe his shoes to the two followers behind him as if nothing had happened. Thank you, Suwon said softly. Jiangyu pretended not to hear clearly, bent down and put his ear closer to her. What did you say? I didn't hear you clearly. I said thank you. Suwon raised her voice a little, with a serious expression, which was very cute. You're welcome. Jiangyu's tone was very affectionate. After not seeing him for a long time, there was a faint fragrance on his body, which smelled good and made people feel peaceful. That was a smell that belonged only to him. Su Chun and Su Yi caught up and saw the scene. Jiangyu bent down and got very close to his sister. No one knew what he was saying. Suwon's ears were red, as if they were about to bleed. Fortunately, Su Yun was not here, otherwise, with his temper, he would have jumped out like a firecracker on the spot. Just as he was about to step forward, the young man who had stepped on Suwon before took the initiative to speak. Miss, I'm really sorry. I accidentally offended you just now. Are you hurt? Before Suwon turned around, Jiangyu had already given him a cold look, his face still showing the same gentleness and tenderness as before. Suwon turned around and saw the man who had stepped on her just now bending down and bowing, apologizing to her. I'm fine, don't worry about it. Come on, Jiangyu, come sit with me. My mother will be very happy to see you. She didn't even look at the young man carefully, but pulled Jiangyu to see Su's mother. In fact, she herself didn't even notice the joy in her tone. Suwon pulled Jiangyu's sleeve and walked away, and saw Su Chin and Su Yi standing there with their arms folded, observing secretly. The two brothers even have the same movements, except that one is taller and the other is shorter. Third brother, fifth brother? When Suwon saw them, he guiltily let go of Jiangyu's sleeve. I saw you came out alone, and I thought you were doing something. Turns out you're here to pick someone up? Sui looked at Jiangyu with a fake smile. Jiangyu raised his eyebrows and nonchalantly played with his fingers at the cuff that was wrinkled by Suwon. The two guards saw this, and one of them came up to help him smooth it out, but he dodged the attempt. Back off. The two guards looked at each other. They had never seen such a young master before. It was bad enough that he smiled so gently, but he even condescended to polish their shoes. Is this still their cold, aloof and unkind young master? Moreover, the young master, who is usually so clean that he cannot have even a wrinkle on his body, didn't care at all today. Jiangyu didn't take Su Yi's sarcasm seriously. Suwon also ignored the young man who apologized to him and took Jiangyu and his two brothers back to his private room. The young man could only look at the girl's back as she walked away with great disappointment. Sue's mother was very surprised at Jiangyu's arrival, and Soo-yun looked at him in disbelief. He showed up at noon, and there was no noise at all. Ayu, why are you here? Sue's mother enthusiastically pulled Jiangyu to sit down. And I came to Xiangzhou to do some business, and came to see you by the way. Jiangyu let Sue's mother pull in to sit next to him and chat with her. My uncle's family didn't know Jiangyu and had never seen him before, but when they saw him dressed so elegantly, they knew he was not an ordinary person. A Xiao, who is this? Let me introduce you. This is Jiangyu. It was fate that won, and a move from our family accidentally saved him, and thus they became friends. Yu gets along very well with the other children in my family. He is a very good child. If I were not embarrassed, I would have treated him as my own son. Sue's mother really likes Jiangyu, a child who has a sweet mouth and good looks. Just looking at him makes people happy. However, when she said that she treated him as her own son, Soo-yun and the others were unhappy and curled their lips. Mom, you said a few days ago that having too many sons was annoying. Why are you accepting another one now? Hearing this, Mother Sue glared at her fourth son. Why do you have so much to say? Okay, Soo-yun finally understood that other people's sons are more attractive. And, if you don't mind, I am your biological son, Won. Don't you think so? He just wanted to act nice, and even brought Soo-won into the mix. Soo-won,